Hello, everybody, and welcome back to EGFC Overwatch. I'm your boy, Septilence, joined by Loki Cass, and we are jumping into our first of not one, not two, not three, but three series here tonight on EGFC Overwatch. Loki, before we jump into the nitty-gritty, before we jump into the teams, how are you doing tonight? How has your day been?
Oh, I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Had a great day. Got to spend,
Good.
time with the dogs, and they worn out now, all ready to hunker down and watch the amazing 3 series that we have today. Not 2, 5. That's right out. Can't get that many to you, but 3.
Three?
Thou shalt proceed to 3.
That's the perfect number. That's the perfect number, honestly. And going into this, 3 is the number these schools are going to be looking for. We're looking at the Bowling Green State University Falcons versus the William and Mary Tribe. And Loki, it's important that we stay very professional and that we as commentators never play favorites and that we never pick a team that we're rooting for, a team that we want to see win. But at the end of the day, some teams send us jerseys and we have to be a little bit excited for them to see them perform tonight. I'm very excited to see William and Mary. I have not seen them perform this year. And Bowling Green, if my stats are true, are bringing almost an entirely new roster this year that did very well last week. So there's a lot to look for in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. This is actually William and Mary's debut this season. We did not get to see them at all last week. They ended up getting a forfeit win. So you take the freebies where you can get them. Bowling Green, on the other hand, with that completely new roster, put up an absolutely ridiculous match last week. They played against UTA, took it all the way to 5 maps. Every single map came exactly down to the wire. And Nightmare, a big part of taking it to the wire. Absolutely a linchpin of this team.
Yeah.
This week, though, a little bit of complications on that one.
Yeah, a little bit. We've gotten word, perhaps a bit of a rumor, but not really, because I think this is just true. We are seeing a bit of a COVID incident with the player, but they're playing through it anyway. So more power to you, my friend. A great way to keep things up and running. So while Bowling Green may be bringing out a majority of their true roster, maybe not everybody's going to be playing to cuff today just due to some natural illnesses.
Well, I mean, hey, we've seen absolutely insane performances from people who are sick. I mean, Jordan Flu game, we saw Nace, won by people who are sick before. Being sick doesn't count you out. All it means is you've had more time to sit at home. Is really what it comes down to there. You don't have to interface with the outside world.
Yeah, big difference between being sick and being sick. You know what I mean? Like, maybe Bowling Green comes out, they play a little bit stronger, a little bit better, and hopefully for it, they're able to keep that win streak alive. But William and Mary, not technically on a win or loss streak yet. This is their debut after all, so talk about making a difference and making space. Hopefully they're going to be able to do so. Let's see which maps they're tackling today and how that may impact the performance of these teams tonight.
Yeah, one of the biggest maps that we have is going to be that Flashpoint as the third map. That seems to be the linchpin of everything. So incredibly new. This week it's going to be New Junction City, which I really, really enjoy. Going into... Okay, I really enjoy watching it. I really enjoy
that's super valid. That's how I feel about Push.
Oh, yeah. No, but Flashpoint has really been a huge turning point for all of these teams. That's where we've seen teams either, put away the game, TM, completely solidify it, or where we see teams start their comeback. And it's so different, so experimental, and especially being in that third spot where everything hangs, it's an absolutely...
Yeah, this is going to be a fascinating circumstance here as this new, Flashpoint map comes through, and it's going to force these teams to play a little more improvised. I'm glad we're seeing Push just booted all the way to the 5th map. If we get there, I guess we'll get there, but realistically, a lot of these seasons and series don't tend to go all the way to map number 5. I know if we hit a 6th map, we rotate back to Control, so there's a lot of space for improvement, but starting with Busan, starting on Control here, Loki, what team compositions or which heroes in particular are you looking at to make an appearance here?
I mean, Busan is...
Yeah, Loki, I think Loki's having a couple of tech issues, so we're going to give them the chance to reset mics and audio, and you guys get to listen to my voice more. How exciting is that? I'm sure you're all super stoked about that, but I can talk a little bit while Loki gets that figured out, what we're going to be seeing on Busan, or at least my prediction thereof. And I will be honest, there is a bit of differential happening. A new patch just came out 2 days ago. I'm not hyper super mega familiar with what the meta is going to be running into, but I'm also not convinced we're going to be seeing a lot or little changes. I think this is going to be a very good space for these players to put their feelers out, see which compositions they'd like to be bringing to the table, and which characters are going to be making their way to the forefront. My boy Max, Reinhardt extraordinaire, has been waiting 2 years to play it. Do I think today's the day? No, I don't.
I mean,
Oh,
If
there
there's
you are.
ever a day to pull out the Reinhardt, today's the day. You know, it's the debut of one team. It's a map where you can do a ton of different experimental type of things. You really get the full spread with Busan. I wouldn't necessarily pull out the Ryan on this one, but
Agreed.
something like Mecha Base is a really good place to try to force that brawl.
Yeah, Mecha Base go crazy for Reinhardt, but instead we're going to be seeing Max on the Wrecking Ball, a character that's actually been making its way more so into the forefront, and I'm excited because with the composition they're running, a Symmetra to boot, a Mei from Nisu to slow down the opponents, and Max actually going to a more realistic tank choice, that Orisa. I think Gransko is about to have a very rough time here.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen really, really good stuff from Grant on this Doomfist, however. He does a really, really good job jumping into the backline, doing a huge disruption, and Night Levels and Snady Share equally as good at capitalizing on everything they do, and because he creates so much incredible space, it just leaves these dive DPS totally unsound, but look at this, a huge playthrough on the tank.
Yeah, a huge playthrough on the tank here as Evan BP is going to be the first to go down. Night Level's not far behind, and it's all off the back of William and Mary's Max for the win, who goes through, finds those eliminations, and just charged through the front line exactly as an Orisa can on a map like Busan Sanctuary. The point flips for W and M, and BGSU back to the drawing board. They are bringing out a notably unique composition here, so this could be difficult to kind of grease up the gears a bit.
Yeah, I mean, this comp with Orisa, is the meta, especially with the Sojourn, with the Mei. This really allows them to just brawl in, and oh no, the support line.
Support line, blink, and you miss it, are gone. Night Levels with the virus, though, will take XZD out of the equation, and one more elimination from BGSU could have kept that up and running, but instead it looks like the eliminators are going to be eliminated. SLM just barely gets out of the way. I'm going to make the executive decision and say Slim. I don't know if that's the name choice, but I feel like I want to say that, so there we go. William and Mary are going to be stabilizing this point nearly up to 50% now.
Yeah, and time's starting to run out just a little bit. At 50%, we're starting to see William and Mary build up a lot of these ults that can just drain time from this Bowling Green squad. Bowling Green is on the ult advantage right now, surprisingly, but it's going to be really, really important to see how they can use them to break through this insane Orisa hold.
Yeah, the Orisa hold is going to be tough with a Javelin missed and a deep dive into the back line. Night Levels will take Nuke Llama offline with that virus once again, removing the possibility of the beat from fight here, but 70% on board for William and Mary, and a Pulse Bomb to catch Slim. That's going to be a huge opening for BGSU, one they were definitely desperate for. 75% is last fight territory, and William and Mary, they're going to play a stall game. They're going to guarantee they touch at least that 75 before giving this fight up, and give it up, they truly haven't yet. We're now touching 80. Two members still alive. The horse goes down. Nisu not far behind, and now the Lucio will join them back in that spawn room, not without a little bit of blood on his hands.
I mean, this is something we saw a lot of last week from Bowling Green, is these huge disengagements. Every single fight where it looked like, oh, there's no way you can win this, their supports died immediately, no one's coming back to help them. They did an amazing job just staying alive, continuing to drain resources, and setting themselves up for retake. Issue is, that's not always the most sustainable strategy. We need to see Bowling Green here really lock down against this William Mary squad.
Yes, Bowling Green needs to lock in. They've got an EMP, they've got a Tree of Life, they've got a Nano as well. To get that Nano onto Grant creates a huge opening, but it's the EMP that comes out first. 4 out of the 5 members hit. The beat falls from Nuke Llama not late enough, or not early enough to find XZD offline. That EMP comes through long enough to create the space. We hear the Orisa ultimate come out. It's one angry horse, but I just don't know. It will find Grant! The boop knocks him out of the way. He's not able to find that damage reduction off the front, and now William and Mary finding that tank, forcing the Ana out of the equation. This is the exact opening they needed. Goodbye, Evan. Goodbye, Snitty Share. Slim has fallen. Can that be enough? Unfortunately, the answer will be no. William and Mary are going to be able to walk away with Busan Sanctuary. Maybe we get a last-second touch, but I think this one's done and dusted.
No, I mean, Nuke Llama looking absolutely insane right now. Not just getting, blood on exit picks, but getting blood on other people's ults. You love seeing the main support in line with the main tank. Those two players need to be in sync for so much different stuff, especially when your main support's on the Lucio. When you're playing this tight brawl comp, they've got to be in sync. They're not just in sync, using each other's tools to make fireworks on the Orisa ult, and that's going to bring it home, especially because at the start of that fight, William and Mary was really, really separated. They needed a clutch play in order to shut that fight down, and when it comes to clutch plays, Nuke Llama ready to give it to you at the moment.
I'm looking at the compositional changes we're seeing here, and Shady Snare jumping onto the Reaper instead, a very easy character to work with, but I don't think one that's going to find a whole lot of value against William & Mary, albeit maybe the ultimate if Shady Snare does get to that opportunity. But, you know, Risa, a Mei, a Lucio can run away fast enough. It's going to be very difficult to kind of target down an elimination or to find an opening one way or another, and hopefully Shady Snare knows something that I don't, because I'm really not familiar with playing Reaper. He's not a character I bring to the table particularly often, but Grantco giving Max a taste of his own medicine at full javelin into the backline, 2 Mei walls up, tiny Overwatch time, and Grant will be the first one to go down. We're looking at Bowling Green nearly mimic the team composition that William & Mary brought to the table, and unfortunately still can't find that elimination fast enough. That is a full team wipe for W&M. They're feeling good, they're capping this point, and they're trying to wrap up Busan ASAP.
This Bowling Green squad, a lot of times we see them run their team through their tank, and with that, they feed their tank a ton of resources. I think the reason they're pulling out the Reaper is specifically because he doesn't need a ton. He has his own way out, he has his own heal. He can force Max out and allow Grant to play that a little bit more. And good save there, getting away from the wall, but oh, that's not going to start it off well.
That's not going to start things off well at all. The person closest to their ultimate goes down, and VGSU cannot rely on that Blizzard nor the Mei wall any longer. Shady Snare rates out. The Javelin is going to miss. They live to tell the tale, but is it long enough? The window comes up, the garage door open from XZD. The Javelin finds Max, but it's not going to create the space necessary for Bowling Green to move forward. 40% done. William & Mary expending 1 ultimate. They win the fight, especially as Evan BP bites the dust, and William & Mary wins fight number 2 just as handedly as fight number 1.
Bowling Green just on those micro mistakes in positioning there. We saw Night Levels stray just a little bit too far forward. Grant just a little bit too far back. Opens up the one person who you're looking to close that fight out for Bowling Green. You take the win condition away. And from that point on, even though it's 4v5, it's really just clean up for William & Mary.
Yeah, it is cleanup crew for William & Mary here. They've got 4 of the 5 ultimates available, but Nightmare opens the garage door from a bit of an off angle, and I really enjoyed this opportunity, but as Night Levels goes down again, that opportunity is essentially null and void. Wow, my computer did not like that combination of the Orisa ult into the Mei Blizzard. I lost all of my frames for a moment, but it looks like Max is going to be the one to come out on top. Bowling Green State University, they've got a Blizzard to boot, maybe a Death Blossom, but we don't even need a Death Blossom at this point. We need a full-blown garden. We need Shady Snare to come out and drop the most beautiful flowers we have ever seen, and I'm just not sure that's a possibility, especially as Nightmare gets staggered for an additional 10 seconds.
Yeah, that is a brutal blow for Bowling Green here. Nightmare's going to be stuck back in spawn. That's no engagement for another 10 seconds. That takes this fight from a tight one, you know, that's like, oh, we have to get to point, to basically just throwing yourselves at the objective and hoping for overtime, and Night Levels not getting very far on that throw.
Oh, Night Levels doesn't even get the Blizzard out. I said I wanted a garden, but instead we got a single wilted rose. Shady Snare not even able to hit that Q button, and William & Mary continue to do William & Mary things. Able to win Busan in a 2-for, which is a little sad because I love downtown, but I've got 2 more chances to see it tonight. I'll get over it. William & Mary victory here on Busan. 33% done with this series tonight.
Yeah. Looking incredible.
Oh, and look at the coordination. I didn't even notice.
They're like the Genya squad right there.
Oh,
look at that.
I love it. I'm eating that up. I'm eating that up, no crumbs. I love that.
That's just, that's how you know they're having fun. They're having fun. They're comfortable, looking good. And, you know, that's a candidacy for best team right there. You always play better when you're having fun. When it comes down to it, though, William & Mary having a lot of fun at the moment.
They're having a great time. This is a team that I knew they were good. They continue to be good, and even making changes. SLM is new. The other player, XDZ, is also new. Like, they've made some pretty large changes to their roster, but if anything, it's for the better. Not that the old players were bad, but this mesh came out so quickly and so aggressively. Week number 1, they take down Bowling Green, who's going toe-to-toe with some of the better teams in the EGFC, so we know that this isn't just a wash like BG's doing poorly. We know that this is fought, tried and true. However, Loki, you know, I used to say Control was unlike any other map type in the game. Now, unfortunately, I can't say that as specifically anymore due to the existence of Flashpoint, but I do still think that it's unique in the sense of it's perfectly mirrored the entire time. When a team gets through, they're able to kind of get their momentum shaking up a little bit, where Flashpoint, the instability and the chaos is always there to help a team tip the scales back. So, William & Mary winning Control, maybe that won't transfer into other map types. Maybe that's not going to transfer into something like a hybrid or like an escort. And I'm eager to see what compositions Bowling Green brings out, because I was very critical of them on Busan. The other maps, you've got plenty of time to try different things.
Yeah, I mean, Control is known to be that map where if a team loses 1-3, 90% of the time, the one map they won was Control.
Yeah,
It
no,
just
exactly,
requires
exactly.
a totally different thing. Not just because, you know, you got to win one fight and then just hold one objective for the rest of it, but because there's so much other things going on that it really rewards a team being adaptable
Yeah.
above anything else, being able to play whatever is needed at that point in time to counter their opponent. Meanwhile, Hybrid, Escort, Push even, these maps really, you know, you're taking fights in different locations. You normally stick with one comp for the entire map, minus a few exceptions.
Right.
And as a result of that, we don't see a ton. But with Flashpoint now, those, you know, if you're winning Control, you're probably also looking good on Flashpoint. And at that point, all you need to do is find one more win, which is not at all unachievable.
Which is not unachievable in the slightest. And while we're getting ready to jump into map number 2, and we're going to see what that map is in just a moment, I do want to talk about, you know, actually, I'm going to sit on it. I have an insanely hot take to throw out, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait a little while. Paraíso is our next map, and this one, I'll be honest, is one of the tougher ones to cap that first point. But if you do, I feel like we're often seeing all the way to third, right? So there's 2 ways that this map can fall apart.
I don't know. I feel like it just goes so back and forth. I mean, really, it kind of depends on what team you're playing and how you're playing it, because every single point on this map has a different way that you can stall out. You know, if you can't get through that first arch, you know, you're not going to capture point 1. If you can't cover high grounds and flank angles, you're not going to get point 2. And then point 3 is just kind of chaos, honestly, at the end of it, because those high grounds aren't really good enough to like try and sit on, but they're good dive targets. You know, it's just point 3 is weird, is what it comes down to.
No, I've got to agree. I think this map in particular, I think Hybrid, excuse me, in particular, is often difficult to kind of break that first point. But I love the Hybrid map type due to the fact that the points are usually pretty intentionally built in a way where the composition needs change to succeed, right? You're not going to succeed on second point here with the composition you're bringing out on first point. Second point, I feel like, is one of the most likely spots to run into our boy Winston Overwatch. I think it's a great spot to have that value and to create that space. But Winston, as he always does with new updates, tends to fall to the wayside, even though he is just as good as he always was. People get distracted by the new shinies, and it does kind of hurt our Winston chances a little bit. But maybe Doomfist? Okay, I feel better. Maybe some Doomfist in lieu of Winston, kind of going for that same mimicked mobility and high ground advantage without Winston's kit, going for a little more burst damage.
I'm actually a little bit surprised to see Winston on both sides. Usually on defense, we see something, you know, someone a little bit better at controlling space above anything else, just because this first arch is so incredibly powerful. I mean, you really can just kind of sit whoever you want up on that arch and hang out, because it has a great rotation, you know, back to the backside of point if you need to, if you have to leave. You know, you can get the flank angles over on point as well. So to see this Doomfist here, I'm imagining Bowling Green isn't really going to play this as a defense. I imagine they're just going to, you know, try to win with overwhelming force. William and Mary, though, calling it out. They've already got the Orisa.
Yeah, Bowling Green, I think they're looking to get up close and personal. We've got night levels back on the Sombra. They're looking to dive targets here, right? Like, Doomfist is fully filling in for our boy Winston Overwatch. The Virus out, the Lucio down, and Grant's Co. already a notable performance on the Doomfist. There are 4 night levels calls. I don't know who the IGL of Bowling Green is, but clearly the communication is there, because the Doomfist, like lightning on top of that Lucio, stalls out William and Mary and already burns 30 seconds off the clock.
30 seconds down, still no advance. Oh, right into the back line, though. This is huge levels, but with no night levels there. That's absolutely brutal. We've seen Snageshare pop off on this Genji, but one of the big reasons this comp works is because the Doomfist can overextend and create space for the DPS. With no DPS to create space for, that gets dicey.
Now, this is where the BGSU over-aggression falls apart a little bit, right? Now, that composition works really well when they're able to hold spawn, when they're able to hold the choke. But the moment William and Mary broke through the choke, this composition, oh, nice javelin, Max. This composition did fall apart a little bit because, well, everybody's got some mobility. Our Lady Ana, she sure does not. And that was a very easy target. William and Mary had that target call. They knew who to take offline. And after clipping the wings of Ana, it was very easy to roll the rest of the team.
Yeah, I think William and Mary is doing a really, really good job of recognizing, like, hey, Bowling Green, they're gonna send a huge wave of force at us all at once. All we have to do to survive that, stay together, stay on top of each other, react with good damage, and then immediately move to the backline. The Bowling Green backline is not built to sustain damage, sustain pressure. So if you can get to it, that's the fight.
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point there, and it looks like BGSU is going to be going for a Nano Blade composition, but I think Nano Blade, for the same reasons I was critical of Reaper earlier, may not work because the Orisa Javelin is there, we've got the Immortality Field, we've got the Beat, we've got the Blizzard, Mei can do damage through the deflect, so there's a lot of versatility and utility to take Genji out of the equation. Now, Shady Snare, not a bad player in the slightest. I think going in quickly, trying to take out the Lucio, forcing an Ajax, or at this rate, beating the Beat could be huge, and here comes the Blade out the back. It is going to be XZD making a difference, and the very first util I named is the one to make the difference. The Javelin takes Shady Snare offline, and BGSU loses what was going to be their win condition for this fight. Now they have to backpedal again. Unless...
Oh! Hold up, that huge ante might just do it. Grant into the backline, gonna catch SLM with the DPS down. Is there the damage left for William and Mary?
Max goes in a little too deep. The Sombra there to catch up, but Max did take Nightmare offline. NiceU has a Blizzard. They could strong-arm this if they really wanted to, but Orisa, she doesn't exactly have the fastest travel speed. You know, she's got her Javelin spin, but otherwise she's moving at base Overwatch speed. So holding on to the Blizzard, you've got 3:40 on the clock. Holding the Blizzard till your Orisa gets back is going to be a large opener. Guarantee the full 5 going to this team fight. And if Blizzard hits even 1 or 2 targets, William and Mary should have this one for free.
Yeah.
Oh, she's low.
The big thing with this Bowling Green comp is the DPS and the tank have to keep in constant motion.
1000%.
The moment they're locked down for anything, they are gone. And already the on is getting pressured. The legs cut out from Bowling Green now.
Oh, SLM putting the supports. DOWN. My goodness, a huge opener from SLM. They do toss the Blizzard, which I'm not super stoked about, but better safe than sorry. You've got 4.5 minutes to cap one of the hardest points in Overwatch 2, and it looks like, oh, okay, now we've even got a Torb swap, so that ultimate even more worthwhile. Also, I love Torbjorn.
Oh yeah, Torbjorn's fun. Get it locked down. I mean, they're shutting Bowling Green down by covering the angles here. Night Levels has been removed from the video game, and not because they're playing poorly, but because William and Mary's just doing such a good job covering down every single flank route. There's just no entrance point whatsoever.
Night Levels goes down. The EMP does not make the space necessary. NiceU drops a wall. Oh, the rush onto Evan. I feel like we gotta get Evan on something else here. The Nano has been held for maybe 3 minutes. I'd love to see a Kiriko to, what is it called? Neutralize a lot of abilities being brought to the table by William and Mary, but right now it feels like Evan is comfortable on the Ana. That's where they're gonna stick, and I assume they're gonna Nano Grant because everybody else has ulted, and Evan sat on that Nano this entire time.
I mean, at this point, you just got to throw it onto the Doomfist and make something happen, I feel like. And
yeah, right. Just dump it. You'd have another one by now.
Just dump it. Yeah, Night Levels on the Sojourn now. I feel like this is a really good change. We haven't seen them, find that entry on the Sombra. I think by going off into a little bit longer ranged off angle, you can create more pressure that'll slow down William and Mary, especially when you've got the Doomfist with the Nano in the back line.
There we go. This is exactly what we wanted. I mean, this is the opening we've been looking for. Oh, no. Okay, I think that was intentional, but Grant did seem a little bit bummed that happened. It is going to be the reason they stay alive, so moving into this combat here, SLM goes back on the Soj, wants to answer Night Levels, and while this fight seems to go to a close in favor of Bowling Green, I do want to discuss a little bit the utility pick from Night Levels. You mentioned going to the Soj, Sombra's not working. I want to tip my hat for trying to play Sombra in a collegiate setting right now, because that's tough. She just got her changes, she just got shaken up a little bit, and you're bringing it out anyway. My hat to you, but are we swapping to Sojourn in a response to SLM, or it's because it's where we're comfortable? You've got to play comfortability in a game like Overwatch, or it's just not going to work well for you.
I mean, I think we've seen them play it before. I think they're comfortable. I think the main thing they're getting out of it, though, is the ability to spread the defense of William and Mary out here, pull their attention in multiple different ways so that they can't just run straight down onto one person at a time.
Oh, it's going to be a 1-1 trade. Nuklama down. Max for the win. Will be taking a loss in that team fight, but 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. The Blizzard is available for William and Mary, and sometimes that alone can be a win condition all in itself, especially without something like a Suzu on the opposing side. I mean, we've got a life grip, though. Maybe we save somebody's life, assuming Nightmare's not going to get Blizzard did here, but...
I mean, Nightmare really runs on that Life Weaver comp. The reason why they run it is because Grant wants to overextend. They want to overcommit. They want to overpull the resources, and they know, hey, at any time I've got a get out of jail free card on my supports.
Oh, what a bio from Evan, but is it going to be enough? Nightmare the first one to go down. It's go time for Night Levels as well. The beat from Nuklama and the Blizzard into a sloppy corner, but Max is there to clean it up. Nexu steps ahead, eons ahead of whatever I thought was going on. Meteor Strike up. Grants comes down. You've got the retouch, but you're the only one there at maybe a fourth of your HP. Suzu, now from Nightmare. I love the Kiriko swap. I've been begging for it, and we're finally going to get to see it. And with a minute 17 on the clock, William and Mary will push it all the way to that third and final point. BGSU making some preferable changes at the end there, but unfortunately, just too little too late.
Yeah, I think they do have themselves set up for this attack. Their comp is already innately better at that attacking side. It's better when you can push the pace. It's better when you can decide where your fight is. It's better when you're not trying to hold territory. It's a lot better at taking it. You know, as we saw, they struggled a lot of time with like holding onto high grounds or keeping William and Mary away from a location. I think if they can decide their own fights a little bit more, we might see them come to life. I think as well, if they keep that Sojourn, things will look a lot better. We saw on point 3, they were just able to like kind of put the Sojourn away, put them on a spread, really pulled the attention of William and Mary. That's what they did last week going up against Dives. Issue is this time, you can't just get in with flankers. The William and Mary squad, they're too condensed, they're too tight, they're too coordinated. You gotta get some range on the part and make them choose, do I want to run on the Ana and die to the Sojourn, or do I want to run on the Sojourn and die to the, bio grenade?
Yeah, right. It's what is it called? The lesser of two evils, perhaps.
Exactly.
So how exactly you want to take that composition apart. And as BGSU locks in... Okay, no, there we go. I was going to say the same composition. I'm hesitant, but Nightmare on this Kiriko, I think, goes a very long way. She's got great damage output. She's got the Suzu to boot, and her healing, nothing to shake your head at. So hopefully, BGSU can utilize that to get William and Mary, in particular, Grants Co., to that first point. But William and Mary, they are playing a strong, steadfast defense, and if they can hold on to this high ground, this will be a bad time for BGSU.
Yeah, I do like that Suzu change as well because it keeps the Ana alive just long enough for the rest of the team to come back and help. Beforehand, we never got to see the front line come back and help the back line. That Suzu, I think, gives them just enough time to make the rotation. Yeah,
and it's been a while since I've seen BGSU, right? I don't want to make calls or comms that I don't fully know the truth to, but it does seem like this is a composition that requires team communication 200% of the time. This is a lot of unique individual characters that get value when they're making dives together, when they're focusing together. So if the shot calling isn't ideal, things like this are going to happen, where a couple of players get caught off sides, nobody's there to get the cleanup, and Nightmare tries to climb up into an awning, gets taken down for their efforts, and Grants Co. may get out if they're lucky, makes it to the high ground. Max hungry for that elim, though.
I mean, Max took out 3 basically by themselves. The rest of their team on the other side of a wall doesn't even matter. Just pushes it on through with all of the force they could possibly need, outlasts the resources that Bowling Green has to do. And because Bowling Green was trapped in a corner, they could never escape, never refresh their resources. Whereas Arissa, she just keeps on firing, baby. That gun never cools down.
Yep, the gun hardly cools down. She's got so much utility to keep her alive. Shady Snare, my goodness, deleted. Nice who takes that first elimination offline, and Evan going down, not going to work out as well. Now, this is actually looking a little bit more familiar to me. I'm seeing Nightmare on the Ana, and my brain's going, wait a minute, we've seen that before. So now I'm starting to wonder, is Evan a bit of an Ana one trick, a bit of an Ana specialist, and Nightmare's been trying to adapt instead of playing what they know best? I'm curious to see how this pans out now with only half the time bank remaining.
I think the main thing they need is the Lucio. I think Evan knows how to play the Lucio.
Sure.
Above anything else here, and I think you do need a Lucio in this situation. Your backline has been utterly dived upon. You've got to get some rotation. You've got to get some speed. You have to get to the William and Mary backline, which has been rotating so well and positioning so well. They've always been putting themselves in a spot where, sure, you can go after them and you might get the kill, but there's no way you're getting out.
This fight goes open, and Max gets closed out of the equation. Shady Snare's headshot will put them down, but the trade comes through from Nisu, and Nuklama is going to be able to take out Night Levels as well. It's a 2-2 trade. Grants gets charged up. SLM gets bodied into the corner, and I think this will be them sent back to that spawn room. Evan on the Lucio already getting numbers up on that leaderboard, and it looks like BGSU has a notable chance at least beginning to cap this first point. Now, nobody was on while they tried to take out Nuklama, which guarantees Max can return. The question is the support going to be there to help them out? I don't think so. Max is going to go ahead and give it up, I think. Going to play a little bit slower, going to let them take first point and try to stall on choke.
I think they take it on this last tick right
here. No, do you rush? He rushes! Max goes in, the Blizzard's out. We've got the Javelin spin, but no, it's not going to fall. The Blizzard is silent. It's go time for William and Mary. BGSU gets so close, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and Nightmare sure wishes they were playing with one of those instead of against this terrible Robo Horse that refuses to let their team break through. BGSU, 3 ultimates to work with, Nano Blade included, but Nuklama's beat has to come out first.
Best part of this, though, William and Mary brought in 2 ults back into this fight. They didn't get overexcited on that re-engage. They didn't just dump all their ults into it. They thought about it and then went, hey, it doesn't matter if we win this fight. If we don't have any more ults to hold it, we have to focus on the next one. We can win this game right here, right now, go into halftime 2 points up. But in order to do that, we have to make sure we got money in the bank.
The fight opens up here. And it's a slow and steady scenario. There's the Nano, there's the Blade, XCD and SLM already gonna bite the bullet. Shady Snare coming to life. I love to call this the esports factor, where a team waits until the final possible moments to go ahead and win a team fight, but better late than never. 2.5 minutes on the clock. Grant gonna be going to create space early, and BGSU have just nearly tripled their chances of keeping this map Paraíso alive.
You know, normally I don't love the double support ult, but there I really do like it. You know the thing that's gonna get, I mean, you know the one thing that's gonna get you through this is the Genji performing an insane blade.
Yep.
That's all you gotta do. And so the moment they hit down and start taking damage, the beat comes through, keeps everyone alive for just a little bit longer, and that gives them the point. Here on this next one, though, you really have to start worrying about those high grounds that I don't know that Bowling Green has a good answer to on this comp.
Yeah, no, this is going to be tough for a myriad of reasons. Now, Max can't particularly play high ground if they lose it. Nightmare can't play high ground either, but it seems like just about anybody else can get a high ground accordingly. So both teams having kind of that one player, I hate to say deficit, but disadvantage state is going to shake up a little bit of performance overall. And as Nightmare goes down, a phenomenal shot from Naisu. Night Level's taken off stage, and Naisu's freeze up. Might get them a express ticket clean off the map. The wall goes up, Naisu goes down, and they juke 4 members. The 5th one is going to chase them down. Healed up, Meteor Strike up. Where, oh where, does Grant come down?
And here's why I think this high ground works so much better for William and Mary's. They've got the range. Bowling Green can't poke out anyone on William and Mary right now. They have to walk towards them. During that entire time, SLM's shooting, you know, mag shots. They're shooting that railgun. We've got icicles coming out of Naisu. I mean, it's just brutal the amount of poke that William and Mary can put down right now.
Nightmare going to be taken out again. The lack of mobility truly starting to beat up on BGSU. Naisu will be traded, though. Night Levels gives their life for the cause, and hey, that may be worthwhile at the end of the day, as I feel like that performance is going to be opening the gate for William and Mary to keep this defense alive. But unfortunately, BGSU will go down once more. Only 40 seconds remain here, Loki, and I think the highest chance of possibility has already come to a close.
40 seconds in a dream, make that 30 seconds in a dream now, and no nano sound barrier blade gonna save them this time unless they charge it up real quick, and even then I don't know they're gonna have the best setup. Bowling Green does have the opportunity to get 4 ults here, but they're not coming into this fight with any of them. Meanwhile, we've already got the railgun going.
The railgun is out, and the deflect from Shady Snare almost put SLM down, but the deflect did not find its value. SLM just looking GOOD once again. 2 eliminations, turned into basically 4. Let's make it all 5. A technical team kill for SLM with the help of their teammates. That's going to be nothing, nada, zip on the clock, and William and Mary win map number 2, Paraíso. The only advantage I can think of right now, and I hate to say it, I don't want it to be in a negative context perhaps, but I really do think the only advantage BGSU has going into this next map is the fact that this is an unfamiliar map type.
Yeah, I mean, this is the map that Bowling Green performed extremely well on last week. They were able to put up a huge difference maker, you know, completely stunned everyone with how well they played Flashpoint. I mean, which makes sense. We normally see these off-meta teams adjust to changes a lot sooner than the meta teams do. They're already used to experimenting. They're already used to trying new things. What's another new thing? So Flashpoint could be, you know, the start of this reverse sweep that Bowling Green really needs right now.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a little bit of unique nature here in terms of, oh, no pun intended for the William and Mary fans, but I think there is going to be a unique nature in terms of what is brought to the table here, right? There's a lot of ways this composition can come together. There's a lot of ways this composition can fall apart. If you want a free win condition, lock in Orisa, right? Max has been doing that all series long. She's great at canceling almost, if not every other tank in the game. She very likely may be the best tank right now. The only thing she's missing is mobility, and Max has shown clearly don't need it. So, I mean, it's working well for William and Mary, but BGSU, I think a lot of what we've been seeing is what's the word? Like a mirror match of what William & Mary is bringing to the table. When in reality, I'm very much an advocate for playing what you're comfortable on. I want to see BGSU get freaky. I'm going to be honest. I want to see some weird team compositions. I want to see some weird player choices, some weird character swaps, but it's up to them to try and make that happen, because playing a map where your enemy is off guard can work well, but unfortunately, playing something not as well, or something that they're familiar playing against, won't do as well for you. Bowling Green, on the bright side, has this upcoming break to think about it, to make some changes going into map number 3, which we'll see you guys at in just a couple of minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to EGFC Overwatch. I am still Septimus, joined by Loki, and we are jumping into now map number 3 of William & Mary versus BGSU, Bowling Green State University, and we're going into Flashpoint, New Junk City here, Loki. This is do or die for our friends at Bowling Green State University.
Yeah, I mean, this is where everything can change and everything needs to change for Bowling Green. Coming off of a hard Week 1 loss, almost breaking the seal that is UTA. We see, oftentimes teams like UTA being that kind of upper-level seal where if you want to break into the top tier, you got to get through them. Last week, Bowling Green just not quite able to do it. This week, a surprising struggle, I want to say, coming to this one. I think we thought this one would be a lot closer, especially with the turnover that William & Mary has, not getting to play last week. Talk about a quick start, though, coming out week 1 for William & Mary, and just putting on a ridiculous performance.
Yeah, a ridiculous performance across the board here. William & Mary, they took some time off, but tell your friends to tell their friends they're back. William & Mary coming out large and in charge right now. New Junk City in particular, I'm going to be keeping an eye on because Bowling Green, they're really trying to force this Doomfist. They're really trying to make it work. They're trying to make it happen, but unfortunately, unless you are the Doomfist of all Doomfists, it's very difficult to get value, especially when somebody as calculated and as methodical as Max FTW is waiting for you on the opposing side.
Yeah, I mean, New Junk City, I mean, all of Flashpoint really, but especially New Junk, really dumps you into a rectangle of a room and says, have at it, friends. There's not really any room to maneuver. There's only one point that really has any high ground to speak of. The rest of it's pretty much just smashing action figures together. And if you want to smash action figures, Max right now is the Iron Man, the Captain America, the Hulk, bringing it in with incredible strength and just breaking through any wall that Bowling Green has put up thus far.
Yeah, Max for the win has been deadlifting the team. Not that anybody from William & Mary has been doing poorly, but Max, I mean, first in the kill feed time after time after time. And BGSU now making some changes that I'm down to clown with. We're seeing the Junker Queen, the Moira, Evan on the Lucio instead of the Ana. So some unique changes, but Junker Queen can put in the numbers here if played correctly by William & Mary, or against William & Mary, excuse me. SLM takes it in quickly here.
If you're going to make changes, you have to make them on this map. It's your last chance. I think taking away the backline is the best way to do it.
Just removing that backline out of the equation makes it so much harder to survive and thrive. Max takes it up quick. We see that disruptor field from SLM create a little bit of space for William & Mary to back up through. Javelin goes out. It's going to be a whiff. The spin to boot, taking the Junker Queen offline. And the point has been open for a little while here. Evan BP with that first blood. I've got to say, doing numbers on this Lucio compared to anything we saw on the Ana in the kill feed. Nearly 300% more. But the catch on to Evan. Will they fall? They will! Evan down! Nobody's capped yet, and it looks like BGSU tried to sneak it in, but they had to return to the fight. This point cap will flip in favor of BGSU, but how much can it really BGS do when all of you are getting sent back to the spawn room?
The decision to go capture the point is brutal to me. You gotta win the fight before you win the point, and it looked like Bowling Green started off with that in mind. They went right into William & Mary, put the pressure on, got a huge DPS kill that looked like it was gonna open it up, and then right when they had the momentum, they sent a player back to go capture the point, and that usually has to be the Lucio, but the Lucio is dead, and so that means you're losing a non-mobile person who you really want to be up in the front line. As a result, Bowling Green now, with a fight that looks like they should have been theirs, instead they're coming into this one almost down 50%.
Yeah, this is the scariest part of Flashpoint, right? You lose one fight and all of a sudden your opponent is staring 50% in the face. It's not a scenario you want to be in, but it's one Bowling Green finds themselves in now. The Orisa ultimate comes out. How many elims will it pick up this time? It's a silent one, but the rampage from Grants here is going to find 4 members of William & Mary. The beat drop from Nuklama, desperate to keep them alive, and desperation, it will not stay, as William & Mary have found themselves now in a notably more comfortable position here in terms of victory. A team wipe against BGSU and only less than 20 seconds remaining before this first point is theirs.
Nuklama continues to do such a good job controlling the pace of all of these fights. Like, they're not showing up in the kill feed too terribly much, but you're seeing them set up other people's ult. You're seeing them cancel out huge plays. You're seeing them, repositioning their team before they even know they need to be repositioned. It's just, they're doing such a good job setting up everyone else on the team, and we don't normally get a chance to call the supports out. They're usually just kind of doing their thing in the backline, not dying. Nuke this time has been making a difference on the main support position.
Yeah, Nuklama has been a difference maker through and through on the support, and I've got to say they have been doing a beautiful job at it. Not a single ultimate have I seen where I thought it was a bit of a wacky one. The Blizzard comes out, the Blade to boot, XZD gonna get sliced out of the equation. The Blizzard slows down Shady just enough that BGSU only gets the one elim off the Blade, but 2 more. Let's make it 3 in the Chaos. Only 1 member left standing. Max goes down, and BGSU with a dominant fight win for this second point.
And that's what we need to see for them. Bowling Green, with the setup they have, has to be quick. Your Moiras are always going to run out resources faster than the Baptiste. Your Junker Queen's always going to run out resources faster than an Orisa. You know, Genji got to get into the fight, has to find their dash resets. This Bowling Green team has to be quick. The longer these fights get drawn out, the more likely it looks like William & Mary's going to come away with the win here.
BGSU has a stall hold here, forcing Max onto the Junker Queen. So first time in a long time we're not seeing that Orisa, but what a carnage into the back line. The carnage quickly turning into a bloodbath here as it's going to be 2 eliminations for Grants. Max goes down. Let's make it 4-2 in favor of BGSU. XZD goes down, but not without blood on their hands. Night Levels was taken out in the Chaos, and BGSU getting ready to cap this second point. We're getting a bit of a map on our hands.
I mean, we looked for it on Periodicio. You gotta put, you know, the DPS on an off angle, make William & Mary pick their poison. At that time they did, and they chose wrong. They left a Night Levels with an overclock all on their lonesome, went after the support line, and during that whole time, Night Levels was taking pot shots, mowing it down the William & Mary squad. And just like that, Bowling Green not only seems to have their first, you know, strong hold of the day, but their first momentum of the day on a comp that they can control.
Yeah, this is the momentum that Bowling Green has been looking for a lot of the time. I agree with you. They've been punching up to William & Mary, but right now they're the ones punching beneath them, taking William & Mary offline. But if this fight ends well, they can cap the second point, and Max for the win, trying to ruin things as quickly as possible. The Rampage was big from Grantsco. It looks like it actually was big enough. I was going to be critical of it, but Nightmare's Coalescence was there to clean up the additional damage, and BGSU capping point number 3 early. This is a huge turnaround from this team, one that I am eager to see.
Yeah, and with how fast these fights are going, I don't know that William & Mary is going to be able to get more than a refight here, just because everyone is getting cleaved through. They got no chance to try to stall that point, no chance to try to extend things. And so if it goes quick here, William & Mary might be looking like they're on, you know, the mean end of a reverse sweep.
Hey, William & Mary, Bowling Green won 3, or they lost 3-2 last week. We don't know how those maps fell apart in terms of map order, but right now, William & Mary are going to go ahead and take this second fight. This shows you how fast Flashpoint moves. BG won a single fight, and they're at 60%. So now William & Mary cannot afford to lose a fight from here on out, and William & Mary's ultimate economy, very, very good. They did not overplay their hand.
So Bowling Green last week did the same thing. Gave up the first 2 maps, 1-3, 1-4, just lost it by a sliver on the 5th one. So, you know, hey, second verse, same as the first. Maybe it took them 2 maps to get their momentum last week. Maybe the same case here. Bowling Green just needs to get to that second half before they really come into their own and find the adjustments they need to, you know, take a good fight against these different teams.
Ooh, the Carnage will be able to find Evan. Taking them out of the fight early is a critical blow. Naisu goes down, but that's still not as valuable as removing that Lucio. The Genji taken out. There's no beat to be bought. There's no blade to be bound. And now BGSU is going to be losing this second fight. Nightmare drops a Coalescence here, and I've got to be honest, I'm not huge on it. They're already down 2. What exactly is the Coalescence going to do for the team? Because as of right now, that was a whole lot of nothing.
I mean, you got to win this fight. What it comes down to. You have to win this fight right here, right now. Everything goes away if you don't. Oh, that Rampage is brutal. There's a beat there to stop it, but it didn't catch everyone. Night Levels not finding their own savior.
There we go. William & Mary just on the clock here. They're able to find 4 eliminations, wrap it up. Nice little bow on top of that 5th and final. And the second point now capped for William & Mary. 1 to go. Can BGSU force us to the 5th and final point of this Flashpoint New Queen Street? Or will the Jotes William & Mary be able to walk away with a 3-0 victory here tonight?
I mean, they've already got to send it to map 5 to win. Might as well just keep it on point 5, you know? Keep it in theming, if you will.
Keep it spicy.
Exactly. Hey, theming wins the game. You got to be consistent. Bowling Green right here just trying to be consistent. You know, they know they've got to take it to 5 maps, so they might as well take it to 5 points as well.
Flashpoint is going to open, and this is a very close quarters one, so both Junker Queens are going to be able to find a lot of value in this space. Carnage goes out. Max may go down. Commanding Shout deleted. The Suzu now okay. XCD is on Kiriko and at 89% of their ult, so that Rampage is null and void. Railgun takes out Evan. The speed has gone down, and BGSU, well, they have this first point cap. They lose the numbers, and that should give William and Mary a pretty clean opening to get back into the chaos.
Yeah, I think SLM, though, with that first pick is just absolutely massive.
Here we go.
SLM just not getting the pressure that Bowling Green needs to shut them down. They're able to just sit in this back line, know that Max has the front, and jump in wherever they need to. And as of thus far, Bowling Green does not have an answer to SLM. They're charging up their ult so quickly, pouring in the damage, and I would normally say taking the attention off of Max, but Max is just doing such a good job that they're not pulling any attention. It's just all on Max, leaving SLM to basically be out here playing aim labs.
50% and counting. A Blade and a Coalescence versus a Blizzard and possibly a Rampage. Bowling Green backs against the wall. These ultimate executions need to be damn near flawless. Deep into the back line. Max is trying to take Night Levels down, but it's actually going to be XCD that falls next. It's now a 3-2 trade, 4-2 trade in favor of BGSU. Can Max find enough damage here to take even one more person down? He can, and he will. The second, not so lucky. BGSU going to struggle to regroup as a full 5, but William and Mary have to wait for their tank to return, and that's a heck of a lot harder.
William and Mary not going to have a ton of time left on this fight. They're going to have to go for the point very, very quickly, try to cause, you know, that overtime on the point, try to cause that ending, which is really, really going to hamper their movement, which has been a huge part of William & Mary's game plan thus far, has been their exceptional movement, their exceptional rotations, their exceptional pace, deciding where to take these fights. Father Time right there. Oh! Wow!
From the heavens, a center field Rampage is going to take Night Levels out of the equation. Good night to Night Levels there, as that is a clean sweep for William and Mary out the gate. The beat is down. It's showtime for SLM, and a show they will put on for us once more. We've seen 2. We're looking for a 3rd, and with the help of Nisu, we're going to be able to find it. BGSU seconds away from forcing us to that 5th and final point, but unless we get a miracle here from this Rampage or this Overclock, William and Mary is ready to wrap things up with a nice little bow on top. Overclock comes out. There's nobody there for backup, and Night Levels can't do a darn tootin' thing. Nightmare might be able to find one, but SLM still takes them out, puts them down, and William and Mary will walk away with a 3-0 victory here tonight over Bowling Green State University.
Talk about a convincing performance from William and Mary, coming out swinging with nothing but haymakers. Almost, I mean, literally, throughout the entire game, they maybe had 1 or 2 fights where it didn't look like they had control of it.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, that's almost a perfect record. Perfect map score. Perfect almost across the board from their performances. Hats off to Max, you know, hats off to SLM. Absolutely rocking it. Llama as well. I really don't know what more you can ask from a team than a performance like that against another team that just, you know, proved themselves to be in the upper echelon of EGF.
Yeah, I mean, this is William and Mary doing William and Mary things. I don't rep the jersey as a joke. I believe in this team. I know they're very talented. I know they're great. They're a great group of people as well, and they prove that even with the break, even with a bye week or a forfeit win, they're still going to come out swinging just as strong. So a big congratulations to them. We are now going to go ahead and throw it to a break. We will return either with more information about our next game or an interview if William and Mary is able. Either way, we'll see you right back here with some more EGFC Overwatch in just a couple of minutes. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to EGFC Overwatch once more. I'm still Septilent, that be Loki, and now we are jumping into an interview with our boy, Max, FTW26, tank player for William and Mary. So, Max, I want to ask, man, you came into today, I mean, you're probably not stoked to have to lock Orisa that much, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I like playing Orisa. She's a fun character, but she's not my favorite.
Yeah.
But I can get behind her. I have a 100% win rate with her in ranked this season.
Dang, seriously?
I only played 3 games.
That's still wild to me. That's still wild to me. 3-game wins in a row is better than me, so.
But yeah, it was all right. We knew that it was going to be good until the comp they were running. We saw that they really liked the Doomfist with the Sombra Tracer, so we figure Orisa's great. You can live forever. You can just kill people on the back line in a 1v1. So
literally the first fight, you literally skip the team fight and go right to the back line, and you went right after the Ana. I was like, okay, this guy, he knows what he's doing. He's feeling good.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just that's the one fun thing about Orisa is when you're playing the comps like that, they don't really have enough damage to actually kill you.
Right.
So you can just run in and do your own thing, which that is kind of fun as long as you're landing the spears. Once you start missing spears, it feels kind of bad.
Yeah, or when you're throwing them into a deflect. Not that you know anything about that, Max.
No,
but...
no, I've never into a deflect. Never.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's basically where the main story of this game is just Bowling Green coming in with an absolutely wild comp. Nothing that, we really see here, totally off meta. What's it look like in scrims trying to prepare for something like this? Because I imagine it's pretty hard to find another team running a Doomfist Sombra Tracer at the moment.
Yeah, it is weird. So a lot of what we did to prepare for this game was kind of theory crafting. Like, we watched the VODs, saw what they were running, and then, thought from our experience with the comps we played against, what would be good. Because I feel like we play a couple different tanks. I'm not going to go into our whole scrim meta.
No, you got to spill it all right now. If you're not giving your VOD codes right now, I'm going to be so disappointed.
I'll send you guys the VODs after this interview. But
all right,
anyway,
deal.
Anyway, we kind of have the general flow chart, I guess, and we know that Orisa is really good into weird stuff because she can just survive. She's not a great tank at she's not great at any one thing, but she is really, really sustainable.
She's good enough at all of it to where she kind of
She's kind of like me, jack of all trades.
Absolutely.
So I think it ended up we just figured, they have a weird comp, so we can just play Orisa. I can just live forever, and then it'll be enough to win because our backline can also just sustain through a dive.
Yeah. You got to be adaptable with it. And we saw y'all did that this entire time. Was there any big mid-game adjustments you had to do, or is it just the same plan from the start, working all the way through?
Yeah, I mean, we knew the game plan going in, and I think that especially through Busan and Numbani, we kind of knew this is what we're gonna do, and we just ran the same thing. When we got to New Junk City, we saw that they were running JQ, and it was I remember as soon as we saw it, before the team fight even started, my first comm was, "Yo, so we're swapping Orisa." we were playing the first team fight, and it was really, really sloppy because it's a hard comp to play Orisa into there because you just get ran over. So I just remember Nuke Llama was like, "Yo, we need to get off Orisa right now."
It's also an excuse to get off the horse, there you go.
Yeah, the only problem is now I'm playing Joker Queen, and I wasn't warmed up on Joker Queen, But we made it work. We made it work.
Yeah, so I mean, just looking into the future, all things considered, is this the team composition we're going to be seeing? Are these the starting 5 we're going to be seeing from you guys? Because I know a few of you are, I'm not going to use the term off-rolling because you're doing plenty fines in the role you're playing, but some of you are out of your realm of comfortability a little bit. So is this the core 5 roster of William and Mary this season?
See, that's a good question. We'll have to see. We're always willing to swap things up depending on the meta.
Sure.
Obviously we saw XZD. I know I mentioned to you, but he's a main tank player. He was flexing onto the support. And we've tried playing him on tank with different comps. I'm not going to leak how that is,
of course,
but we've talked about potentially switching things up. So we'll have to see. I think it's going to be really meta dependent and comp dependent. If we want to run something that someone else has a strength in, we might mix it up, but we don't like to mess up our roster too much. We like to keep it pretty standard. It's better for practice that way.
Yeah, very fair. Well, Max, hey man, another huge congratulations to you. Y'all are looking super good this season, and thank you for taking the time to chat with us.
Yeah, thank you guys for the interview. Thanks for the casting. Really looking forward to seeing more of you guys this year and watching the VOD back. It's always fun.
Us to you as well. I probably won't watch the VOD back because I was here the whole time, but I am excited to see more of you guys. So thank you again, Max.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And with that, folks, we are going to go ahead and throw it to a slightly longer break. I believe our next game isn't slated to start for 25 more minutes. So we're going to go ahead and throw it to a break. Use this time, get some water, get a snack, go walk your dog. If you don't have a dog, go adopt a dog or something. I don't know. Either way, we'll see you right back here in about 25 minutes with some more EGFC Overwatch. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the EGFC Season 5 Overwatch. I am Semblance, joined by Loki once more, and now we are jumping into the University of Texas Arlington, the very team, I believe, that beat Bowling Green 3-2 last week against Marquette University, who I actually don't know anything about their stats right now.
Marquette University, haven't seen too terribly much of them. We did see them lose to Hawaii last week, but as that was only a 3-map match, we don't really know fully what they're bringing to the table quite yet. We need to see more of them for a full opinion that can be made. Granted, Hawaii is one of those kind of upper echelon teams, 100%. So getting 3-0'd, not, a huge mark against your record or something. That's not, exiling you from the EGF or anything like that. But we would like to see a little bit more from the team this week.
Yeah, undoubtedly so. I'd really like to see a little bit more from Marquette going into this, but UTA as well, punching into the upper echelon, but it feels like maybe the bottom of the upper echelon. I don't say that in a hatred way. I say that in just a realm of possibility way, and I think there's a very real chance that some changes can be made in favor of UTA continuing dominantly. Realistically, just looking at expectation, I don't think this is going to be any variety of anything except a 3-0 right now. I think Marquette is working to break some kinks in the armor. They're looking to make some changes to the team composition and looking to just improve overall. And hopefully they can do that. But punching a concrete wall like UTA may not be the best way to find out if you've improved or not.
Look, I've got a lot of history with UTA personally in the collegiate world, and they're not an opponent that you like to see on your schedule. Yeah. Is really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I mean, they really are the gatekeeper of the upper echelon. If you want to break through and be in that top, group of teams that are gunning for a championship, the first team you got to break through is UTA. They're kind of like a 2016 Hungry Box. Not yet the best in the game, but if you don't have a plan to get through them, you're not making it to grand finals.
Yep, I've got to agree. There's a way to do it, but maybe the way is not one that we're dealing with right now. And we've got the same map pool as we did last series, but for those of you just joining us, as we have swapped schools after all, we are instead going to be looking at Busan, Paraiso, New Junk City. If we extend further, we will see Watchpoint Gibraltar, followed by New Queen Street. If we extend even further, it's a control map, but I actually don't remember which one. Doesn't matter unless we get there. So this is going to be a start on Busan, and my fingers are crossed here, Loki. I'm hoping to run into downtown because it has been a little while since I've seen it.
It's a fun map. It's a different map from everything else. I feel like it's a bit of a triangle peg or triangle hole, and there's not really any triangle pegs in the game, if that makes sense. There's comps that work better on it, but every single comp almost feels like it's being forced there a little bit.
Yep.
It's just its own little monster,
Yeah, it is a monster indeed here, Loki. That is certainly one way to put it. But the Golden Eagles versus the Mavericks in this matchup, and I'm really eager to see UTA kind of come out the gate here. I know they've made quite a few changes off of the last time I've seen them in terms of team composition. So I'm hoping that they come out the gate swinging and very large and in charge. But Control, as we mentioned earlier, is also the map where the lower ranked team is actually most likely to win. So all things considered, I feel like there can be a bit of an opportunity for Marquette to walk away with maybe a first map advantage.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Roster for UTA this year coming up as Buckle, Tags, Andrew, Jupiter, and K. This is the first time we've seen them start with this roster. Last time they weren't able to start with Buckle, and it made their first maps a little bit different from the later ones. Meanwhile, Marquette, you can see it up right there. Axe Hand, Zippy, Stomps, Royal Ranger, and Mickey. Mickey, I would say, is a really, really impressive main support that can put out a lot of damage if you let them start going crazy with the little speedster.
I can definitely agree with that. And it looks like Marquette is going to be bringing a pretty conventional composition here. They're going to be going Bab Lucio, a Bastion to deal high amounts of damage. With Andrew on the Reinhardt, the Bastion's actually going to answer really well, take that shield offline. The problem, Buckle, DPS Bastion here, is also going to be on that. Holds onto the turret form a little bit longer and actually gets an E-limp off the back of it with the help of Andrew and Jupiter, respectively. Mickey, the valued player we were discussing, is actually the first to go down. The rest of Marquette, like dominoes, are going to follow close behind. It looks like University of Texas Arlington will find that first fight advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just seeing the difference of sustain versus speed right here with these two comps. You know, we really, really wanted to see Marquette. If they're going to win that fight, they need to come out quick. They need to get the first kills. They need to run it through. UTA, they're doing a really good job of just staying within themselves, letting Marquette break their wave against the wall that is the Mavericks, and then they just rolled right back on through.
University of Texas Arlington going for a pretty traditional composition here where they're just going to be going up close and personal. You've got the Ryan. He's got to be close to get value. They try to read the flank, but it was actually a fake from Marquette. Stomp's now mirroring that Reinhardt as well, so I didn't get any Ryan last matchup, but it looks like we're going to get a whole lot of him here today. The Maywall up from Tags, buys the space necessary for UTA to back up. Royal Ranger has that BAP window up and running, and Marquette University have the opening to get on to point. However, can they get there with enough HP to make it worthwhile? Andrew hungry for this Earth Shatter. I'm eager to see how it goes.
I love the wall there that Tags are setting up. They're doing such a good job making space for their team. And this might be an opportunity for a huge shatter.
That was big there. Stomps is going to be the first one to go down. And now I think we actually can hold on to the Shatter as the rest of Marquette are going to go ahead and go for that tactical reset, diving off the map into the Great Void beyond. UTA hitting 60% here. Already a 10-player kill streak for Buckle.
Yeah, we're looking at a 1, maybe 2 fight game at this point. Going to be 1 now with that clock ticking over 70. Marquette having a really hard time getting through that choke. UTA doing such a good job at just extending these fights, making Marquette pump in so many more resources that it's just not even worth it almost to walk in.
Yeah, we see the Shatter come out from Andrew, and it looks like it actually looks pretty small, but it's going to be big enough. They find 2 eliminations off the back of it, and the value has been gained and spread here for UTA. The Shatter from Stomps comes out, a Blizzard to boot. Tags goes down, the beat from Jupiter, keeping the other 4 remaining members up and running. No way, the artillery strike is an insane performance to drop there, but it does find Mickey. The rest of the team obliterated, and now UTA will win that first point unbelievably quickly.
No fear from Buckle. Buckle laying it down from close range. I mean, hey, forward artillery wins the day. That time, Buckle showing you exactly why the bravest man in France, not French, man those guns, and Buckle is definitely the bravest right now. No fear with a Reinhardt in their face, just pulls off the kill, rotates right back around. Andrew and the rest of the team doing such a good job giving them the space they need, and that makes all the difference. When your DPS just has an inch of space, they don't have to worry about surviving TM. They can just focus on killing.
Yep.
Dang, do they start putting out some work.
University of Texas Arlington gonna be, I was gonna say making some changes, but last second we swapped to the Reinhardt. Marquette though, plenty of changes of their own, and Echo Mercy, we've got a Diva in the mix as well, most likely to just eat those fire strikes because Andrew farming that ultimate so quickly off of them. Already 30% for Axe Hand here as well. A pretty talented player from the roster of Marquette University. I don't remember seeing an Echo, so this may be a new development, but either way, it's performing well out the gate, and I'm eager to see if they're able to get that opening elimination the team needs to succeed.
I mean, I love the Echo against these clustered together comps. It allows you to get that ult so quickly with all the cluster bombs. And because everyone's so much together, you can just cleave through that damage and already get a focus beam up and working very early on.
Looking for that focus beam out the gate, and 2 eliminations here in favor of University of Texas Arlington. They open the door, they slam it in the face of Marquette, and they get that first point cap once again. This is unfortunately the EGF diff right now. UTA, one of possibly the top 5 teams in the EGFC, and anybody in their way, albeit maybe Hawaii or Delaware, is going to learn the hard way just how talented this team can be.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew right now being a huge game changer for this UTA squad, especially doing such a good job setting the pace for the rest of the team, allowing Tags and Buckle to just do what they do with no fear, and then charging through with the aggression. Absolutely ridiculous performance right now from the Mavericks as they just managed to cleave through the rest of this squad. Nothing on their back. Marquette now is starting to charge up these ultimates. They're going to have 1, maybe 2 chances to use them. That Echo is going to be a huge difference maker if they can get up that Ryan copy.
Yeah, the Ryan copy, I mean, just going with 2 tanks, you bring a little bit of Overwatch 1 back to the forefront, and it can give the team a huge opportunity to move forward, to create necessary space. But I see the Mercy Pocket Mickey actually on Zippy right now, so the Echo, wherever she may be, currently running on her lone, so perhaps a bit of an optimistic flank. Plenty of ultimates left. Marquette burning a clean 10 to 20%, just trying to decide what exactly it is they're going to do. The bombs come out, the team takes some damage, but the blizzard from Tags looks like it could be a lethal one. The window is up. UTA throwing all their ultimates out because they know as long as they get a pick, it's all worthwhile. The bomb goes up, none go down, and the remech helps take Jupiter out of the equation. Axe Hand on the Echo, finally creating that space. The Rhine swap comes in late, and they're going to lose it just as quickly as they gained it. UTA plenty of ultimates to keep the fight flowing, and oh my goodness, all right, a bit of insult to injury there from Andrew. 3-man Earthshatter, I think 2, I think it missed the Bastion, but a beat drop to boot. The damage comes out from UTA once more, and all of a sudden, things are looking better and better against Marquette University, who just got their first point cap, and seems like they may lose it just as quickly.
Yeah, I think that indecision that they had coming into this fight's really coming back to haunt them right here. They had an opportunity that could have been 2 fights, maybe turning into, yeah, it's just going to be 1. We might see some recontest here, but it's not gonna be a whole lot with only 5 seconds on the clock. You see Buckle there laying down the suppressive fire. No one's coming through. No chance, Mickey. The boop is there. Lucio says no. The door has been shut, and Arlington comes out swinging, quite literally with how Andrew's playing.
Andrew feeling good on the Reinhardt, but that may be the only map we're seeing tonight where Ryan is even a wee bit viable, so I'm very curious to see the changes they're going to make, if they make any at all. Buckle with the most devious, what is that called? Artillery strike we've seen in a long time, but UTA feeling good about their chances of continuing moving forward, and I've got to say, Loki, they're having a darn good time doing it. Great performance from them so far.
They look fun, they look loose, they look clean, and I think that's really feeding into their play, especially their ultimate usage. We saw a lot of the time Marquette there trying to force ultimates in, being forced to use them a little bit earlier than it looked like they were comfortable with. Meanwhile, UTA doing a really good job of recognizing hey, if I have to use this ult in desperation, I might as well not use it at all. I'm not going to get what it's worth. I'm not going to get the fight win. I can save it for the next fight and make better use of it there. And as a result, anytime they pulled out an ult, it was always clean. Even when it was in kind of like that, high risk, high reward situation, it looked purposeful rather than forced. On the flip side, UTA doing a really good job making Marquette get desperate with their ults, having to pull them out in unfortunate situations. That Echo ult, which would have been the game changer on Busan, completely nullified off of an amazing tank play once again by Andrew to put pressure on the Echo, make them switch, and then just immediately burn it down before anything could happen.
Trying to burn any and everything to the ground if they're able to, and I think UTA, they are just on a rampage right now, taking elimination after elimination. Even the ults that, we were questioning seemed pretty valuable, all things considered, and going into Paraiso, there may be some performance down the line that Marquette might be able to utilize a little bit better. I think Bastion can work relatively well on Paraiso if played correctly and if played with proper utility, but at the same time, there's a caveat to every growth, right? There's a caveat and a change to every performance from a team and from a player. And speaking of player changes, it looks like Royal Ranger is going to be subbed out for Hattie here. So I believe that's in the support lineup, and I'm eager to see if Hattie can help make a difference, because Marquette, unfortunately, found their footing maybe just the one time there on Busan, and unfortunately, other than that, could not pick up a darn tootin' thing.
No, I mean, I do like the player switch going into this map. I think it's completely reasonable. with Busan being so incredibly different from Paricio being different from everything, if we're being honest here.
Right.
And we saw both teams leaning on that brawl a little bit on Busan, and that's just not really something you can pull out on Paricio, at least not with the Reinhardt. It's just not mobile enough to deal with all of the high grounds and off angles that Paricio is giving you. So I think swaps here, whether that's comp, whether that's, you know, play style, whether that's player swaps, are really, really warranted going into this map.
Going for player swaps is, I think, pretty reasonable in terms of trying something new, right? We've been harping on that pretty aggressively tonight and just giving new things a try, bringing in some compositional changes, going for some opposition and going for some opportunities to make things happen. And Marquette, I think if they're facing this realistically, like if they're being honest with themselves, this is a very tough matchup to win. So you might as well try something new. You might as well try an opportunity to put a new player in that's not getting a lot of play time. Try a new composition, because scrims only take you so far, but you get a whole different kind of value when you're actually in a competitive setting like this one.
Well, talk about trying something new and trying to learn. Marquette doing exactly that, bringing out a Junkrat with the Mercy for their pick. I'm not super against the Sigma. I think .1, you can put on a lot of work, especially if you want to go with something like an Ashe or a Sojourn and really commit to this upper level rather than trying to go for the .TM. But at the same time, neither Junkrat or Ashe have a ton of survivability and a dive, and well, UTA was looking at the ball in the Echo. Maybe switch into the Sigma themselves. Now, I mean, who really knows with UTA? Whatever they're running isn't what they have in spawn at any point in time. Oh, not coming out from Buckle. No,
listen, I love Junkrat. I'm just happy he's here. Axehand is a very talented Junkrat as well, and I think there could be a lot of value to be found on a close quarters map like Paraíso. There's a lot of angles to play and a lot of opportunities to deal damage without putting yourself in the forefront. UTA, though, definitely going for some, not unconventional, but for some different picks here. We're seeing the Soldier locked in. We're seeing the Iyari as well. And, I mean, an Echo with no mercy, that's a fascinating thing to run into, especially with a damage-boosted Ashe on the opposing side. Buckle learning that the hard way just now.
Yeah. I really do like the Iyari with the Sigma, though. I think Captive Sun plus Grab is one of the best ult combos in the game. You've, you know, jack them all up, activates all of the Captive Sun, damage across the field, and that's just a field, that's just a graveyard at that point. And so if they can really work that, I think that might work well, especially with the healing pylon. Just keeps everyone behind Sigma Shield alive, ready to go.
The Sigma Shield from both sides. It's funny, I never really anticipated to see a Sigma here, but it looks like these teams are going to go ahead and run it on either side. Wow, Buckle
what a
goes
flank.
for the long flank, the optimistic flank indeed, and get a critical pick on the Mercy. Even if Buckle goes down here, it's worthwhile. Taking that Mercy out of the equation allows UTA to continue moving forward. Accretion going to be missed from one, but another could come out from Andrew. Tags finds Hattie, no healing for Marquette, and I think they're learning that the hard way. UTA going to be able to win this fight and cap first point, Paraíso.
I mean, not only did Buckle get Mickey there, they managed to pull the rest of Marquette back in order to deal with Buckle. Getting through that first arch is the hardest point of this first point, especially when you're going up, you know, Sigma v Sigma. And so Buckle not only getting a key pick off, but managing to pull the rest of Marquette away off of that arch, getting them out basically for free, just lets the rest of UTA take the high ground and absolutely roll through the rest of that point. Marquette now needing a big reset on this street phase.
Axehand has a big angle. I don't want to see a tire pulled here. They know where you are. You've got to spread yourself out a little bit, and here we go. This is a much cleaner spot, but all things considered, Axehand, I mean, probably knows this as Junkrat players. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I was going to say, you got to pull Tire close. You got to catch him off guard, but I guess nobody expected you to come out of the gas station there. So Buckle and Tags are going to be going down at the hands of Axehand, and Marquette will buy themselves a free 20-30 seconds before UTA comes back as a full 5.
Yeah, I mean, great play there by Axehand, looking absolutely fueled up out of the gas station. And UTA recognizing, hey, there's no reason to, you know, try to go in this. We're down 2 people. Spawn's right there. Let's just give them the time and, you know, jump right back in.
Looking for an opportunity to strike, and it looks like one will be found. Jupiter takes down Zippy, Mickey not far behind, and UTA will continue their rampage through the streets of Paraíso. Beautiful accretion from Andrew. 1 member left standing, and all of a sudden Marquette back to spawn, back to the drawing board, but you've got 3 ultimates to make it worthwhile.
You ever have a play work so well that you can't run your own play? UTA, they're trying to set up the double Sigma lift and couldn't, not because they couldn't find the double Sigma, but because Andrew just killed everybody off the gun. There was no need for Tags to use their own Sigma lift.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's a little bit fascinating, but all things considered, every ultimate is any ultimate in terms of value right now. And even with Marquette throwing damn near everything at the wall, it is going to be UTA winning that fight. The visor from Buckle, maybe just a little insult to injury, but it makes the space, it gets the cap, and it is going to be a clean opener, all things considered. So hopefully we continue moving forward in terms of Marquette's ult bank.
Now, normally going into this fight, after UT has used so many ults, got to, kill us so quickly, I'd be like, oh, watch them play a little bit slow here, watch them maybe go for a dry fight. No need to, though, in this situation. They forced enough switches on Marquette and forced out enough ults and desperation ults that they don't really need to take a dry fight here. They're not down barely anything. They can just keep this pace up and keep rolling the momentum through, try to snowball this last point.
Yeah, and keeping the pace going, I think, is, as you mentioned, going to be the name of the game, right? It is going to be that opportunity to strike and that spot to look out for. Stomps goes in early, and I like what we're seeing here in terms of creating that space, utilizing that shield. You want to get some value, but the shield goes down. So does your Junkrat, and the rest of your team gets picked up before going down like a bag of rocks. University of Texas at Arlington are feeling A-okay on this performance. And the craziest thing about it, Loki, this entire time, that cart has been somewhat occupied. They have gotten an incredible amount of space on it.
Yeah, the only blue we got to see in the kill feed that fight was a res from Mickey. Absolutely brutal performance there, and Tags has another copy ready to go. Captive Sun to match him up. There's the copy coming through. Wait for the Captive Sun in order to top off with that grab lift.
Buckle and Jupiter already find two. We've got the Yachty Sunblast here, but it's not going to be able to find much. Buckle goes down. Hattie not far behind, and I think even with the numbers disadvantage we're seeing, UTA should be able to find that value, especially as Jupiter puts two down in the blink of an eye. That's going to be 2:58 on the clock here. A tough turnaround needed from Marquette if they want to fix things.
Yeah, I think at this point you have to abandon the Sigma comp. Not because it's not, not because it's not working, not because it's not good on this map, just because it's so slow.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest here. Can you really hope to match a 3-minute time bank as Sigma on attack when you've been playing from, the underdog position this entire game? Probably not. I wouldn't say a cap is out of the question here. I think Marquette could very easily figure that one out.
Sure.
The question is going to be, what comp do you play trying to get as much time on there? Because if you play a Sigma comp, you might get to the end, but if you get there in overtime, does it really matter? I would say the play here is to go for the higher risk, higher speed comp, knowing that it doesn't matter if we go the distance if we're not getting there with a comparable time bank. And I think Hamster is a good place to start to try to set yourself up for a faster map type. Even whether you're winning faster, losing faster, no matter what, Hamster's going to get you there faster. And I think that's exactly where you need to be if you're Marquette right now.
Yeah, you need to be in a scenario in which you're going to be able to find that top dog front-facing value. And Marquette, I agree. I think a first point cap isn't necessarily out of the equation. It's not out of the books, but it's going to be tough. UTA, they're taking a page out of their own playbook. They're not missing a beat. They're winning every fight they have to. We're going to a Diva swap as well, but with a ball on the other side of Marquette, I don't know. I'm eager if that's going to be something the team can do moving forward. They can actually make that value.
I like this Diva. I mean, I think it allows you to cut off these angles really, really well. And I think they've kind of recognized that, hey, Marquette has to play something faster here. Might as well play something that can keep up. Great slam for the ball, but with no one there to help. Ooh, barely escapes.
Immortality field down for the side of K, and University of Texas Arlington, they almost lose one player, but it's actually Axehand that bites that bullet first. I guess those rockets first. Andrew chases, stomps out, Zippy goes down, and the craziest thing about this fight, Loki, is it's going to burn a clean minute off the clock. I mean, this is going to be an opening that Marquette desperately needed, and already 25% of their time bank has come and gone.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about needing to be fast. That fight was not fast. Stomps not able to get with the rest of the team on that first dive, which means it took him an entire, ability rotation to be able to put something really together. I like this setup. I like this comp. I don't know that it's the right comp for this situation. Neither Axehand or Zippy can really get to the backline and act on it nearly as well as Stomps can. I think this just creates a disconnect between, your tank and your DPS.
Oh, Mickey almost goes down. Going to be able to get out of the way with that damage boost up and running. Axehand, some great accuracy out the gate there. The Helix Rockets, with the help of that seismic slam, or the pile driver, excuse me, are going to be able to open up the gate once more. Buckle down. The bomb comes out. Who will fall? And it's going to be Axehand. Unfortunately, all that work just turns into a now 2-1 trade against Marquette, who are staring half their time bank in the face. This is never a spot you want to be in. The minefield is huge. It zones out a lot of UTA, but unfortunately, Loki, I think this fight is well past over.
Yeah, I mean, the one place that Marquette can go to really get a shot on the backline is that one building right there.
Yep.
Issue is, Andrew's on Diva, and all Diva has to do to deal with that one is just kind of stand in a window. And once Andrew recognizes, oh, that's where they are, they fly up, they've got their area, then it's all up to Jupiter and K. Just stay alive as long as possible against the ball. Does an amazing job in that situation there. Hats off to K for not only hitting the MO, but hitting an amazing window there in order to put the damage onto Stomps and force them out, keep everyone alive. And oh, that's Buckle! The tracking on that kill!
A bit lethal here is going to be Buckle on the legs, doing a phenomenal job, and Axehand trying to answer it out, but unfortunately the answer isn't always to go for that mirror matchup very often. I've preached that Bastion isn't the counter to Bastion, and you're going to have to make some changes, but plenty of ultimates being thrown out. Zippy can't do a darn thing. Buckle, excuse me, is going to fall as well. Here comes Axehand with the 4th ultimate. We've got ultimate dominoes here. Everybody wants to be involved in a scenario like this, and I'm just not sure anybody's going to be finding the value they were looking for early. Especially as Stomps and the Wrecking Ball kind of opens the door here. This may be enough for Marquette to at the very least get a tick. UTA's almost got a bomb. If they can send that in, they can create a lot of space and try to stop this hold where it is.
I think with how late Tags died, it's going to be interesting trying to get this last recontest. It's going to be a 4v5, at least for a little bit. Those mines absolutely huge. Goodbye, K!
K's Immortality Field goes offline. Now Andrew's bomb doesn't find a darn tootin' thing. That's an ultimate that UTA was going to use as a win con, so now they're back to raw accuracy and skill, and as the healing pylon as well as Buckle fall, that's going to be enough to tuck tail and try to get out of dodge. Stomps, though, fastest tank in the game, will continue chasing forward before returning to the team. 3 minutes on the clock. This is what we expected. We said a cap from Marquette is not unlikely, and it's even encouraged to an extent, and they're able to do just that, but how far can they push this luck, Loki?
Yeah, I think they still have a good situation. These long-range mobile characters is exactly what you want to see on the second point. Allows you to get your poke in while still trying to, capitalize on these high grounds. Stop there. A little bit dicey minutes just to find their way back with the slam, which, hey, never want to lose your tank that early. Love to see it. Issue is here, though. Marquette only going to be bringing one ult into this fight. UTA has been rotating their ults so well that they're really set up here and already finding Axehand down.
Tags taking action, like you said, that hurts, but you know what else really hurts? Mickey going down as that secondary there. K with a bit of supportal combat takes them out, Stomps, bites the bullet, and things just feel good for UTA to win this fight. However, this fight, not the end-all, be-all, not the game changer that they're expecting, and instead, I'm waiting to see a bit of a more neutral performance if they can find one. I'd like to see UTA just maybe stall it out, hold on to those ultimates, and Marquette maybe just send in an angry hamster with a bit of a nano in the pocket.
Yeah, I'm ready for them to send in the hamster. The thing is, though, Tags on this Bob makes that really dicey to do. The moment Stomps gets a little bit too aggressive, Tags can very easily pin the rest of this Marquette team back and basically isolate Stomps. There's the mines out, but it's not really going to find anybody.
Yeah, this is another mines that we're seeing that I'm not particularly fond of, and I think the idea from Stomps is to dive into the back line, maybe pick off a support and find the elimination worthwhile, but it's another minefield that I feel really does go a bit null and void, all things considered. Resurrection onto Axehand brings Marquette back into the numbers. I didn't even know Buckle was on Soldier, and yet somehow we're still staring at a rooftop high noon.
Buckle?
A million things happen, and Buckle still got to pick off a bit, so a bit of a showboat there. A hinder comes through, and Stomps goes down for it. 60 seconds remain. 3 ultimates for Marquette. UTA only 2, and it's the support ultimates nonetheless.
Usually
what a sleep! Gotcha!
Usually when we see a ult off the top rope, it's not a high noon.
Not a high noon, yeah.
Like, very rarely do we see the high noon slipping into the DMs of the backline. That time, Buckle, no fear, comes up with a pick for it and manages to get out as well. That's absolutely ridiculous here. Yeah, that's gotta be a blow to the spirits if you're Marquette.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, just to get, trick shot high noon is never something you really want to be a part of. But as Marquette has 3 ultimates here, we're going to see one answer out. The Sunrise from Jupiter goes in for that Yardi ultimate, and a Valkyrie trying to keep up that necessary healing. Jupiter's ult actually pretty quiet. Oh!
Well, box it up, tie it in a bow, and ship it, because that's going to be the map given to you by Andrew. No doubt left on the table there. A 3K bomb will be all she wrote. And UT Arlington not only winning, but making sure they look good while doing it.
Yeah, that was holy guacamole there. Andrew just dumps the bomb, and oh my goodness, for a brief moment I thought it wasn't going to play the game. Let's take another look at this from their POV. I saw the Ana trying to run, but the other two members I had not even gotten a look on. Just dumps it into the wall. It hits the glide. Any emotes, any trick shots? Nope. Just a remake there. The three-piece wrapped it up, and we sent them packing. But Marquette University has one more chance. They've got that new Queen Streak coming up, and as we learned from Bowling Green, losing map 1 and 2 does not have to dictate your performance on map 3. That's where BGSU really started to shine. They overperformed, and they kept it as close as they could while still, unfortunately, losing that map. Maybe Marquette has that same luck as well.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a time to do it, if there's a time to turn around, it's Flashpoint, no doubt.
Yeah.
We didn't see him perform great on it last week. Had a little bit of issues running into Hawaii there, but at the same time, it's Hawaii. Who really knows? You've had a week to work on things. So this is a good time to change things. We've seen Marquette shift onto a style that I think might work better on something like a New Junk City on the
Something
spot.
with more chaos.
Exactly. I think chaos really, really works to Marquette's advantage here because they're getting beat on a bit of a macro side, being able to enable these micro plays. Just trust your best players, put them in a position to work, see what they can do, really go for that kind of comfort individual style is, I think, what you need to do right now. Break it down to the building blocks, roll all the dice, maybe some of them roll sixes, and, you know, you get to have a party with it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of versatility here from Marquette that could work a lot better in a chaos composition like this. I wouldn't mind seeing Axehand jump over to the Junkrat again, or maybe even try a May here. I think May Wrecking Ball can be just as helpful for the ball as it can be detrimental to him, because if your walls are bad, etc., etc. We can go over hypotheticals forever, but I think Axehand really does traditionally very well on the May, and I think I'd like to see a little bit more of it. And I do want to say Hattie in the support position there, I think was doing a really good job. Not that Royal Ranger did poorly, but I do feel like we were getting ultimates a little more consistently from Hattie, and they were making differences to help Marquette win the few fights that they did. I think Hattie is a linchpin right now for this team composition.
Absolutely. I really love your point about Junkrat. I mean, hey, bring Junkrat home. All of these points are condensed. They're tight. Everyone's grouped up. I might even go, maybe not for an Echo because there's so much ceiling going on, but that same kind of style of, you know, hit the Echo, hit the May, maybe top it off with the Junker Queen and just send it home because, like, what's stopping you at that point? That's just utter complete chaos. You slow everyone down, throw the bombs in, make them go boom, and then, you know, Junker Queen just cleans up, keep everyone, you know, topped up and alive with that rally, as well as being, you know, that full force engagement menace. If you're going to cause chaos, and engagement's a good place to do it right when UTA is all on top of each other. They're all grouped up. You know, they're on a perfect position for that splash damage, and might just make something magical happen, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's a very real possibility, right? We're looking at the
circumstance. Hey, we do see the May, not
anything
quite
is possible. Yeah, okay.
The Junkrat.
I think I might accept this. I might. Oh,
there we go.
Okay.
There we go. I like this.
Hold on. Clear comms. Hold on. Reach for No Help is in for Marquette. Sorry to the rest of Marquette. This is their best player. Reach for No Help is a beast on the Sojourn, and I am very excited they have entered the fray.
Let's see it. We've got Mickey on the Mercy, possibly here to pocket Reach for No Help, which, again, I like it. Look to your playmakers in these situations. Yep. Figure out how to get the ball in their hands. Reach for No Help. Exactly a person that you want to get the ball to. If Mercy to top him off might just do it. Stomps as well. Puts up a huge field on the Sigma, able to just, you know, control an entire line of sight. Reach for No Help very easily for them to swing onto the side there and try to get them, but they're gonna have to figure out how to escape from the Doomfist of Andrew in order to set up.
Yeah, and not only are we seeing UTA get to the point faster due to the Doomfist, but the Lucio to boot, so they had an opportunity to dive Marquette in their spawn. I love that slide cancel from Andrew there. That little extra bit of damage can go a very, very long way if coordinated correctly, and coordinated it definitely seems, as now Axehand has fallen. Now, Hattie may be joining them in just a moment, and Reach for No Help, this player I've been talking about, can't get out far enough to get value on this Sojourn. Andrew, did you overextend? Did you bite off more than you could chew? Barely makes it back to the fight. A great Suzu from K to keep them up and running.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the situations where, in order to make use of your Sojourn, they really do have to find some space to exist. You've got to get them out on the angle. You've got to get them not looking at your tank's back in order to get anything from it here. But Andrew doing such a good job containing all of Marquette into this one room. There's no chance for their playmaker to make any plays, and they're just getting mowed down.
This is tough. I wouldn't mind seeing Reach for No Help swap to something like a Cassidy. I think it's just a little easier to play him in close quarters versus what we're seeing with Soj. She's mid to long. And Andrew takes down Stomps last. That is a huge blunder in terms of team stagger. You cannot engage without your tank, more so than any other role, arguably. And UTA, I think, is going to get this first point pretty much for free. I hate to say it, but that is how it feels at this moment.
I mean, especially without a Lucio for Marquette and your tank dying that late here. I don't even know if it's worth it to try to take this fight. It might just be better to set up for the next one. I mean, you're running it at 90%, gonna have to just charge through the rest of the team to even have a chance at touching. And barely the Mercy's gonna do it. That's not generally who you want touching the point.
Yeah, but I mean, the bright side, you forced Kitsune out from Arlington here, so this is a huge ultimate they could have used going into that next engagement, and instead, they're going to toss it here, increase that fire. A high noon as well! It gets shelled out by Stomps. We see the Yeti ultimate and Reach for No Help finally putting that overclock online. That is going to be a huge turnaround from Marquette. Now, Loki, did they have to empty their entire ult bank to do it? Yes, but you did it, which is hype.
I mean, they got ults out of UTA as well, so not the end of the world. They still have a freeze coming in. If they can try to box UTA in a room here, exactly like how Arlington did the first time, pop that May ult, that might just do it. You've put Reach No Help on one angle, Stomps on the other, just to really block it off. That might be exactly what you're looking for, and you can see them positioned in 4. They want to position right in this open space so they can pull back into this room, draw the rest of the Mavericks in with them, and then they can just throw it on the Blizzard. But Buckle going down early means they might not even have to use that.
Hey, I'm feeling good about Marquette right now. I'm going to say it. This is a strong opener. I mean, they get a little rolled in the beginning, but now they're canceling out an overclock. They're able to get a little bit of value. They can play this small space. They get a 1-1 trade. Meteor Strike goes up. Who is it going to take down? That is the question on everybody's mind. We see the teleport into the Suzu. No utility from K, and I'd like to see a chase down from Marquette, but instead, they're going to play it slow and defensive. They're going to drop the Blizzard. They're going to buy a lot of time here, and they might win this first flashpoint.
Yeah, Blizzard not quite finding what they want to, but pretty dang close here, buying a ton of time. That wall from Axehand just murdering this time bank right now, and now I don't know there's really any chance for a touch. Barely gets to the point, but they're so separated from the rest of the team now.
Oh, Tags goes down to Reach. We see Axehand get traded out. Can Marquette clutch this out and put themselves in a winning position? We saw a chance at Resurrection from Mickey, but it actually does get canceled out. Hattie puts down one with the ult. Reach finds another. It's all going to be worthwhile. Stomps finds K, and this should be Marquette finally putting a W on the board. You flip the M at the beginning of Marquette upside down, and it's a W, baby. That's a flashpoint in their favor. 2 more to go, Loki. Are we going to get a map number 4? Because Marquette, they've woken up here.
It's a bull market for Marquette right now, and I am investing. I believe in this squad. It took them one fight to figure it out with the adjustments here. One fight for Reach for No Help and Stomps to work out how they want to play this, and they are absolutely rolling. I love this change on Mickey. It's giving them the ability to really rely on who they know is good, and when they extend too far, don't worry, the res is right there. We're going to keep this up 6v5 all day long.
Axehand finds Buckle out the gate. These ult fires really coming to fruition, and poor Andrew gets walled in. Somehow lives. You've got to be kidding me. Take this Zarya out because she is max charge. Reach for No Help will put that railgun right through the dome and gives their life for it, but I think that is unbelievably worthwhile. To get a full charge Zarya out of the fight is going to open up the fight for your team pretty darn effectively. Mickey drops that res. Tags is gone, and Marquette, they've got the numbers again.
We've been talking about Reach for No Help. We've been talking about Stomps. I want to give some love to Axehand right now. Absolutely controlling the pace of this game. We've seen some of the reasons that the Mavericks have been so good is they're able to decide how these fights happen. Axehand has completely taken that away from the Mavericks right now, forcing them to fight on Marquette's terms. But with Axehand gone, this might be their chance to just run on through.
Stomps goes down, a fundamental difference there, and it's going to be a little bit slower because UTA, they sneak in that cap. I truly can't believe it, if I'm being honest. I thought we saw darn near everything available for the side of Marquette to be dropped out there, but too little, too late goes a long, long way, and now the damage continues moving. The percentages continue ticking. I mean, we got to remember, we got to take it back to Mickey touching in the last frame in that previous matchup, and I think it made the difference on that first flashpoint. Can Mickey give us a dog performance? Once again, a top dog performance. Buckle up, the beat is out, and that is a huge trade that Marquette is waiting for. Double support ult here. Kitsune going to be falling as well. UTA, they want to win this fight because they know if they do, they pretty much wrap up point number 2, and I guess we can consider this fight all but won. 3 ultimates from Marquette, and they're not going to find a darn tootin' thing. UTA's team kill off the back of Buckle as we watch the knees of Marquette do the very same.
Yeah, it's a quick kill and everyone all at once, but with no Lucy on the side of Marquette, you're going to see him getting ready for the next point here. I mean, granted, I've said that twice now of don't contest the point, go to the next one, and here we are again! It's third reverse, same with the first possibly. Stomp's trying to keep this one alive for just a little bit longer.
Stomp's trying to keep things up and running if they're able to, but the Wrecking Ball, no adaptive shields to boot. Axe Hand is gone. Jupiter falls. No, Hattie! No, dog, you should have held on to that ult, but, you know, as a wise man once said, it is what it is, and unfortunately, that is a flashpoint loss for Marquette University. Here comes UTA, tying things up and forcing us at least to a 4th point.
I do feel a little bit vindicated with how many times I've called, oh, there's no way they can recontest this one, and it's gone the other way. Finally, I get one of those right, as, you know, the courageous recontest not going Marquette's way, and I think with the amount they invested into that, they're just hurting their chances on this next point. They're down to support ult, they're down to tank ult, reach for no help, not finding any luck getting their own overclock charged up there. I think I don't know, but I think Marquette's just committed a little bit too hard to this, but right as I say that, Tags is already down.
Yeah, Stomp swapping out of the Zarya matchup here. It's a difficult thing to do if you're not comfortable on the Zarya, so more power to Stomps for trying to do this, but unfortunately, you swap late enough, they've got a grab in their pocket. Bright side, you force them to use it before the point even opens, so they're not going to get any free percentage off of this elongated fight. Okay, no, you got to go down here. You don't run. You got to go down here. I mean, you are the Soj makes it out, the Mercy does not. That's just kind of unfortunately the way that cookie's going to crumble. UTA only going to get maybe 20, maybe 30% before Marquette's right back to this fight.
Yeah, the issue is, though, I think one of the linchpins of this team so far has been Axe Hand, really
100%.
opening up different avenues, and this is not the point you want to play Mei on. This point is far too open to really make use of the Mei walls that have been deciding the pace for Marquette, that have been giving the openings, that have been doing everything they needed to. There is not really a chance for them here, and without that, I think really it comes down to just how well Axe Hand can use this ult, and that's about all they've got going for him on the Mei.
Looking for that striking opportunity and that zoning play. We hear the visor come out. Axe Hand has the blizzard, and they're going to drop it post-beat, though, Loki. That is not what we want to see. Unless Andrew goes down, that could all be worthwhile, and it is actually going to be. Andrew has bit the bullet, or I guess bit the blizzard in an ironic sense, and Axe Hand gives their life for that play, but I think it's going to make a difference here today. Marquette finds another elimination in the form of Jupiter. Tag's not far behind, and now Marquette, 3 ultimates in their pocket, cannot make a single mistake from here on out if they'd like to cap this 3rd point in their favor. Resurrection onto Axe Hand goes crazy.
One fight or a flipped point gonna be all the Mavericks need in order to get this one for them. But look at this, Marquette choosing to, you know, fight the player, not fight the objective. And so far, it's working out for them as they've set themselves up with some good ult charge as well as just, you know, elongating their time as much as possible. But in the meantime, Arlington looking to flip it. That's all they need to really put this one away.
Yeah, Arlington needs one solid flip here, and a grab from Stomps hits a whole lot of nobody. A huge ultimate this team is no doubt about it going to want back, but reach for no help. Being that hero in the darkness, the player I hyped up, showing they're worthwhile. The 3K, let's make it a 4, baby. The 4th is just barely gonna get away, but reach for no help. You gotta tip your hat to an absolute maniac on the field so far.
I'm going to hand it to Marquette there, playing out in the open, way far away from the point. What an amazing play there, because it separates UTA. It allows Reach for No Help to choose their individual duels one by one, ends up winning 3 of them, and that sets up in overtime.
The overtime has been set, and it looks like things are going to be shaken up just a wee bit here. Pressure stacked for the side of Marquette to win this, but Andrew's elimination goes out the gate. Reach for no help goes down. A blizzard from Axe Hand, critical condition, desperate to keep the entire team alive. Mickey's Valkyrie keeps this job up and running as well. This could be anybody's game. No way, Mickey! The resurrection mid-fight, the Valkyrie in boom. My friends would call that a succulence res because there's no way that should have worked, but I'm going for it either way. It looks like UTA is going to tip the scales in their favor, and they're feeling mighty good about it. Got to give them credit. This is a team that's supposed to dominate this matchup, and Marquette is making a Mars sweat right now.
What an amazing regroup there from UTA. Pulls up to just the right distance, right around that corner. Andrew lies in wait. They keep their charge. They keep it moving. They know the timing perfectly to walk right back in with the rest of their team. Meanwhile, Marquette dumped way too much in that last fight, thinking it was the last one they needed for the point. And so when Mavericks come strolling back in, there's nothing to stop the door. It's wide open. The lock's not even turned. And UTA takes huge advantage there.
UTA taking that advantage and running with it. Kitsune from K trying to open up this first fight, and it looks like it will work. Mighty good. Reach for no help is going to be eliminated. Mickey goes down to boot, and that is the end of that fight before it can even truly begin. It'd be great if Andrew tossed the grab here for Marquette, but something tells me Andrew's a little bit smarter than that, especially as the rest of the team crumbles at the base of their laser. UTA capping their third and possibly final point here on Flashpoint.
I really like your point about Andrew being too smart to drop the grab there. Arlington has been very stringy with their ults, but in a really nice way. They're only using exactly what they should. In a perfect world, you should use one more ult than your teammate and win the fight. And so far, UTA has been abiding by that rule pretty dang well the entire time. It looks like they have everything they need every fight as a result.
Ooh, the grab comes out early here for Andrew, and actually they almost go down for it. Luckily enough, K Suzu there to catch them, and Stomps gets a grab of their own. Not losing anybody there is fundamental for the program and the progress of Marquette University. Let's see if they're able to do much with it. A grab and an overclock. Oh, okay.
That's not really what you're looking for there. K there.
We get the rest. That's great. But now look, Hattie's gone down, so we're still stuck at a 4v5 scenario. This is not the circumstance I wanted to be in for Marquette, but this is the expectation of play from the University of Texas at Arlington. A great performance overall and a great job from them. That should be their win condition across the board.
Yeah, I think Marquette's here done a really good job showing they're not going to go quietly into the night, but they're going into the night nevertheless here.
Just kind of regardless, yeah.
Clock's got to strike midnight one way or the other, and it's striking midnight right about now for Marquette. Granted, they did go through the fight. I think they got better every single map, every single progression. They've done an amazing job throughout. Just not quite enough to close it out at the end there.
Yeah, unfortunately not enough to close it out, but I've got to say Marquette showing signs of life. I don't know if Reach for No Help had like an exam and they showed up late or something, but there's no reason they should ever be on the bench for this team. I mean, Reach for No Help is the star-studded player of Marquette, and I'm not afraid to say that. I truly believe it. They're very talented. They're very performative, and every single time they roll up, they're putting in numbers. I'm always eager to watch them play, but Loki, just as quickly as that series started, that's a 3-0. That series is over.
I mean, Hennessy UTA, they're making light work of a team that looked strong throughout, especially near the end. They're really making changes, adjusting, getting the people they need in. Mavericks not phased, ready to keep this one going. They improved to a 2-0 on the week. Next week, they get an off week, actually, so they get to really prepare, kind of lay it down. They've got plenty of time to learn and get ready for their next matchup. They really have. After a 5-map win and a 3-0, that's a bit of a bumpy road, and take some time to level out, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, folks? We're going to go ahead and throw it to a quick break here. We're going to be right back with an interview with Andrew from UT Arlington, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you right back here in just a few. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to EGFC Season 5 Overwatch once more. UT Arlington walking away with a 3-0 victory here tonight over Marquette. We are joined now by tank player Andrew, who did a notable performance, and he's a surprise swap to Zarya there on map number 3. So, Andrew, I mean, that's pretty much my question for you out the gate here. Zarya is a character I feel like we're seeing less and less of as time goes on, but you came out today, you played your butt off, you did a great job with it. So, I mean, was that a spur-of-the-moment thing? Is that what we should expect more of from you guys on Flashpoint, or what was the call there?
We played the Zarya a little bit. It's been a comfort pick for like years now for me. So
Sure.
I was trying to play Doom, have some fun. They weren't letting it happen, so I'll play the Zarya.
Yeah. Well, love to see it. Zarya was wonderful. I mean, great performance throughout with it. I gotta say though, throughout that game, you ended up switching to a lot of different tanks, a lot of different compositions. Is there anything that drives that decision, or do you have like a set, comp per map that you're ready to pull out every time?
Yes and no. I mean, a lot of it's adaptations. We have set things for each map, but I mean, we're also trying to win, and I was trying to play different tanks because I knew I was the better tank. So
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. You guys kicked butt. You took names. You're 2-0. You've got a bye next week, so you've got a little bit of free time to study up. Maybe try some new compositions or some even more new tanks to add to your threshold. But overall, I mean, you guys did a great job tonight. Thank you for joining us for the interview, and best of luck. I guess not next week because you don't need it, but best of luck to you in the following.
thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to shout out Stomps 10 for calling me a loser. All the motivation I needed for the last few months. Appreciate it. Hey, 0 deaths first 2 maps. All it takes right there.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Appreciate it. We will see you later. And with that, everybody, we are going to go ahead and throw it to a break. Our next matchup, I believe, University of Hawaii versus Montana. So that'll be another interesting one at 10:30 EST. That is just a little under an hour away. So we'll see you right back here with some more EGFC Overwatch then. almost
That's
anybody
everyone,
thing.
yeah.
Like, I would not be excited to play Delaware, but luckily enough, Montana doesn't have to. They just have to play Delaware's most likely rival, the University of Hawaii. So
I mean, they are on different ends of the U.S., so good rivalry candidate right there.
Yeah,
You know?
it works well. Maybe we're going to get a little bit of value from Hawaii out the gate here, but I'm particularly excited because we know the maps we're looking at. We know we're going to be seeing today, kicking it off with one of my favorite, well, starting with my favorite map type, just guaranteed, but starting with one of my favorite control maps is Busan, followed by Paraiso into New Junk City, a Flashpoint map which has continued to be the closest across the day today. If we get to map 4, it is Watchpoint Gibraltar, followed by New Queen Street, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And now, I mean, things are feeling mighty all right for our friends in the University of Hawaii. Montana State, though, as you mentioned a moment ago, Loki, this is their time to really prove themselves. They're going to try to find some cracks in the armor. They're going to try to poke some holes in the University of Hawaii, because even if you don't win, if you make it close enough, that's a mighty good showing for your team.
Yeah, I mean, whether you win this one or just perform really, really well doesn't set you apart either way. I mean, anything against Hawaii is going to set you up well for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's just I don't want to say any amount of headway you can make. You know, this is a really good time to test out those new skills, test out all those new strategies, make something new with what you have. And Hawaii, if it's working against them, it's going to work about just about anybody else.
Yeah, I think that's a spot on analysis, honestly. I think there is a bit of an expectation here for the University of Hawaii. They're known to bring out unconventional, perhaps goofy team compositions. They're known to play their hearts out with some amazing things. And as the timer kicks off, map number 1 is going to open, the University of Hawaii versus Montana State University. And I'm taking a look at Montana's roster here, and I'm going to just level so fast, I don't recognize a single name. So I don't know if I'm mixing up Montana with a different team in my head.
I'm going to be honest with you, you don't recognize Montana's name because they are new to the EGF.
Okay, I must be mixing them up with somebody else then.
Montana State Overwatch is a new EGF team. So this is not only their season debut, this is their EGF in general debut for them.
I wonder who I was thinking of. I really thought this was going to be Montana, but instead it's no, it's just a team that I did not expect. And as the gates go to open here, we're seeing Junker Queen versus Orisa. So I'm a draft in for a Rude Awakening, and my boy Say, great friend of mine, is going to be locking in the J Silly, a man after my own heart. The Junkrat making his second appearance of the day today here on this main stream.
I love it. Any amount of Junkrat that we get is a good amount of Junkrat. I will treasure all of it. It's all a gift. You know, here, though, we see Montana State just go right straight to the point, and oh, Hawaii!
They just get bodied from the back line here. Asu Purpi is going to be going down early, and Akamai is going to find a 2K out the gate, maybe 3 with the help of the team. Poor Lay, you're running the wrong way. You got to stay out of there, but it is going to be a huge opener for the University of Hawaii. First point cap already. Some swaps coming through from Montana. I'd love to see a tank change. Let's see if we get one.
Hawaii coming out of this one looking quick. They have got the afterburners on with how fast they went after Montana State here. I do like this switch onto Ramatra for Montana State. I like Ramatra in general. I think he's a very, very effective tank, especially against someone that wants to go fast. You meet them with that huge, you know, what is it? Annihilation form?
Yeah, his ultimate Annihilation form. Yeah.
Annihilation field, right. You know, meet them with the Annihilation field, meet them with Nemesis. It's just a whole lot of power you can put out right at the start of a fight.
A lot of power coming out of the start of the fight in the Annihilation form. If it is going to get the opportunity to be used, I agree, it could be incredibly beneficial, could create a lot of space and a notable amount of value for Montana State University. But unfortunately, here's fight number 2, over before it can even begin. University of Hawaii has Montana's number right now, and they're continuing. Not the pullback! Oh no! Lay can't get away!
They put up the wall to get away, and that didn't even stop them. Geometry isn't enough to stop Hawaii right now. Who cares about the laws of physics? They're breaking through everything like a sledgehammer. And Montana State just forced back into their own spawn. Not even willing to come out until they have 5 right now. Hawaii just absolutely sending it with no fear.
Hawaii on that full send train, no doubt about it. Akamai has that overclock online, and Montana State going for a bit of a sneaky approach. They're trying to run it down, sneak into the back line, and I'm not sure it's going to give the value they're looking for. Hinder comes out, overclock online, the beat bum Jawip comes up from UN, and Sneak is the first one to go down. 3rd fight in a row that Cassidy is the first member to bite the bullet of the equation. It looks like the May is not far behind in the University of Hawaii. Oh, the double tire from Say. You don't even hear it. And it takes out your support line. This map is over. Busan stage number 1, Busan Gardens in favor of Hawaii. Talk about a blink and you miss it moment.
Map's already done. I don't think that Tracer touches. Sombra
no
coming
chance.
around the side, gonna get spy checked out. Not happening today. I really love that final ult from Akami. They notice that Ewan, he's put in the tree a little bit further out. They want to push into the tree. Akami sees that, says, oh, no, not so fast. Pulls out the overclock and just absolutely guns them down. No chance to even make use of the wife lever ultimate. And now, just like that, Hawaii ready to get onto this second control point. Looks like they're staying with pretty much the same comp. Junker Queen, Junkrat, and then, another hit scan DPS to kind of throw off on the off angle.
I love Junkrat. I love Junkrat. What a cool guy. River God now on the Moira. So Moira, Lucio, weirdly enough, if you'd believe it, the second time we've seen that today. The first one, I believe, was from Bowling Green, and unfortunately did not work super well from them. But Hawaii, they're so polished. I think they're just choosing characters they want to have a good time with, especially as that damage orb flies across the screen. I'm notably more confident in that initial statement. Into the backline is going to be Sneak 3. Might be the first one to go down again. 1 HP, and there they go. That is now 4 fights in a row. Sneak has been the first one eliminated, giving University of Hawaii an insane numbers boost right out the gate. I'm a Giraffe wants to swap and try to mirror that Junker Queen, but Math Dealer, one of the best just tank players in the EGFC, so it's going to be really hard to mirror them on any tank they bring to the table. The boop goes out, the grip can't get you away, and I'm a Giraffe goes down. This is a beautiful opening from the University of Hawaii.
Yeah, Montana State, they're making an interesting decision to try to go directly to the point.
Second time they've done that, too.
Second time they've done that, and each time Hawaii's like, you want to have the point, hats off to you, do whatever you want. We're going to sit up here on the high ground and just rain down the damage on top of you. And thus far, Montana State has not had an answer.
Say takes out a lot of damage here with those nades, and I think a lot of what we're seeing is the team wants to get to point first, but you're not going to cap until the fight's over, right? So you're putting yourself in a pretty unique circumstance. Say takes down Ewan. It looks like they look for a second one, but it's River God that picks up pick number 2. The nades go out, and Say's ready to put you down. Here he comes. You better stay out of the way, because here comes Say. 67 HP. He has to get away. There's going to be a cleanup from Akamai, and now 41% for the University of Hawaii. This team just tried and true. This is the Hawaii experience at its finest.
I mean, let's be honest here. Anytime a Junkrat is trying to take a close range 1v1 against a soldier, that's some confidence.
Yeah.
The Junkrat's got behind
gusto.
him there. And gets out of it. Granted, had they gotten the kill, that would have been amazing. Just getting out of that close range encounter and setting up Akami, or as it was Akamai, to take on that fight is absolutely ridiculous Junkrat play. Oh, that's just rude. No!
Oh my, I'm having the best day of my entire life right now. Thank you so much, Say. Just cleaning house on this Junkrat, as I knew he would. Great friend of mine. University of Hawaii cleaning up, kicking butt, and taking names on the J Silly, nonetheless. I think Montana State, they've made a couple of swaps too little too late. They've got the Beat Bomb Juip in the form of that Tree of Life, and hopefully it gives them a little bit of space, but with a Rampage, a Coalescence, and a Visor on the other side, that tree, it heals a lot, but it can only heal so much at the end of the day. Here comes that Visor. There's the tree to boot. The TP can't get you out of the way, and it is a house cleaner. It is a barn burner. It is a beautiful performance from the University of Hawaii on stage number 1.
6 minutes on that map. 6 minutes from
Slim
start to
Shady's
finish.
favorite number. That is such a specific joke. I don't know if a lot of people are going to get that, but you know what I said.
Keep in mind, it takes about 1:40 for the point, 30 seconds on top of that.
Yeah.
So that's easily, 4-5 minutes just off of time on the point. I don't know that you can complete a control map any faster than that.
I don't think you can. They won the first fight every fight. They capped the point immediately, and they held it the entire time. There was no risk or chance of breaking or changing. There was no adaptation or differentiation that made it harder or easier for that team to succeed. But across the board, it was a house clean from University of Hawaii. They're coming in large and in charge, and the Rainbow Warriors feeling all the better for it, low-key. Now, map number 2, we know, is Paraíso, so things start over a little bit for Montana State, but my largest critique of Montana for the time being is I hate to use the word lost. I really don't want to say that, but they're just confused. They're trying to make a lot of swaps. They're trying to make a lot of changes, and it's just not this isn't the type of game where you can continue to do that, because I think we saw maybe 2 ultimates from them that entire time, because they continued to swap, they continued to go back to their ultimates, and they continued to start over, and that's just never going to be good for you.
I think at some point you have to internalize, like, okay, we're not working, we're getting beat with all of the changes.
Yep.
I think it's time to look at playstyle changes rather than composition changes. You know, whether you're playing a brawl, you're playing a dive, you're playing whatever, there's so many different ways you can play. You can play it tight, you can play it, you know, loose, you can play it fast, you can try to play it slow, get the other team to commit first. And I think what Montana State needs to be looking at here isn't changing the compositions, because they're just giving away their ultimates for free in that case. I want to see them change how they're playing with it, like in terms of how they want to adjust that one specific comp.
Sure.
More than anything else.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of unique nature in the sense of the fact that Montana State, they want to try this, they want to try that, but you only have what turned out to be 200 seconds across the board, and it made it a lot harder for things to work out. They couldn't find the composition they wanted, and Hawaii just had a ball. I wouldn't expect them to do much else, I'm going to be honest. They love being large and in charge. They love to take the lead and run with it, and right now they're just having a heyday out there. Say in particular, call it a say day, the way this guy is cleaning house.
I mean, hey, they're the Rainbow Warriors. They're fighting the war and looking good while doing it, and that's really, what more can you ask for there? An amazing performance by Hawaii thus far. Do keep in mind, this is a team that went 12-3 last season,
That's
and
Hawaii.
pretty much anyone you ask would say that was a disappointing season for Hawaii. That they
No,
didn't
genuinely.
perform to their standards after losing 3 games.
Yeah,
All
losing
season long.
3 games. Yeah, and people are still like, oh, come on, Hawaii.
That's
you can
not
do
good
better
enough.
than that.
How
And
could you?
True. It's true. This is peak Hawaii. This is a team playing on a traditional ping of 130 or higher, but they've gotten so good at it that you'd never be able to tell. You'd never find the identification of that, of, oh, you know, they're playing because I figured it out because whatever. No, you'll never know if someone doesn't tell you that, because they play out of their minds every single time. And with a side swap here, the University of Hawaii starting on the defense, they want to put a nice little bow on map number 2 here and send it home as fast as they can.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, it's over in Hawaii. They've got the rest of their afternoon
Seriously,
for this game. Like it's
what, 4:49
like,
for Hawaii
yeah,
right now.
Absolutely. It's not even the end of the workday. They're ready to punch out.
This is going to be something unique and something very special, and I'm really hopeful that Hawaii can pull this off in a way they want to, because I want to see them come out, I want to see them kick butt, I want to see them take names, and with the team comps they've been bringing to the table, they're certified just classics of Hawaii. They're all playing characters they're comfortable on, and a lot of them, I think the exemption, would be Say. A lot of them are just lucky that they're meta-esque characters. We're talking Akamai on the Sojourn, we're talking River God on the Ana, Math Dealer on this, Math Dealer can play literally anything. That's
Let's be honest. Math Dealer plays whatever Math Dealer feels like is the vibe of that day. Oh, Say. Oh, no.
The life grip. Oh, I'm writing that one down. That's an insane play out the gate. Call it an insane play. The way this kid is a maniac. 50% to Rip Tire right now. I want to make that very clear. The next highest is 23. Say is almost to a Rip Tire out the gate due to the fact that this Junkrat is playing way further up than he ever should, but he knows he can get away with it. A huge bio-nade from River God just makes them ripe for the picking. 70% can get life gripped out if they have to, can mine themselves away. Say is 1v5ing this defensive hold right now.
I mean, I was wondering what the play was when they did that, because there are Junkrat spawn holds where you can do that. This map is not what. Oh, the teleporter gets burned down before it can even do anything. This isn't a map where you typically see the spawn door hold. This time, though, Sane just taking it right to them, and they have the wife lever in their backline ready to pull them out at any given time.
Yeah, I mean, this is insane. The way I have never seen a spawn hold on Paraiso. And it's nothing, again, I want to make this so unbelievably clear. We're going to be highlighting Hawaii a lot here because they are fantastic. That does not make Montana bad by any means. But if Montana were to come in here and take out Hawaii, they would immediately be the greatest team in the EGFC.
Oh, yeah.
This is the expectation of Hawaii. They're having a good time. They're unbelievably entertaining to watch, and I'm incredibly eager to see how fast they can continue moving this forward. Oh, I love the swap from Sneak here, actually. Yes, there's a Sojourn, but she's the only one that can really look at you right now, so playing some low corners might be incredibly beneficial.
No, I mean, this is what we want to see from Hawaii week in, week out, performing at this level. I mean, they They lost 3 games total last year. That was against RIT and Bowling Green. 2 other teams that we typically say are in the upper echelon of anything. Like that's not those aren't losses where you go, oh my god, we have to rethink what we're doing here. Those are losses where you go, yeah, I mean that's an any given week kind of game.
Yeah, I have to agree. And right now it feels like University of Hawaii allows Montana to break through. The beat comes out from Lei. Too little, too late, as it is going to be 3 members of the team already going down. Lei keeps the supports alive, but unfortunately this is just an exaggerated stagger. This is not going to be the opening they wanted or that they were looking for.
I've got the 1-punch skin on, not gonna have the 1-punch strength, as a bomb will take out you as well as they will anyone else. Say collects yet another kill as they just continue to build them up. Akamai now also with the overclock. We've got the tree ready to come out from the supports. I mean, this is just a Hawaii squad firing on all cylinders. Scratch that. This is a Hawaii squad firing on nitros with how fast they're speeding through.
Yeah, I have to agree. They are looking to clean things up here. 1 more minute on the clock. Say getting ready with their 2nd rip tire of the day, and the progress continues here for the University of Hawaii's stone-held defense. 1 elimination here for Montana brings this all crumbling down, but are we going to be running into that quite yet? That is the question on everybody's mind. Overclock out. Akamai finds Sneak. We've got the tire, but I think Say realizes I don't even really need it right now. I'm gonna jump up here. You know, I'm gonna have fun with it. And it is, oh no way. I mean, come on. Say is in your brain right now, just locked in. And I think we're gonna get a spawn tire. At this point, why not? There's 30 seconds left.
Hawaii wants to make sure no one touches the point. They want to make sure no one can even try and touch the point and grab overtime. I mean, Hawaii gotta have like a cute date waiting for him or something with just they want to get this one moving. Sending a teleport back into the back line. More life than I thought Sneak would find as they're managing to stay alive for the rest of their team to come up. Annihilation Field, that might just get them to point.
Here we go. This is what I said. You needed 1 elimination, and Montana finally finds it here. Math Dealer almost has that Gravitic Flux, and they're still alive. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for the risky shot, and they're going to take it. 2 up. They both go down like a bag of rocks, and with an incredible bio nade from River God, it is the opening the University of Hawaii needed. Math Dealer said, hey, listen, I'll do it myself. Opens the door, kicks it clean off its hinges, and stalls Montana out at 38.7%. Montana, though, they bleed just a little bit. They show a wee bit of progress, and they take a fight off Hawaii, something several teams have never been able to do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's...
I'm saying a fight. They didn't even take a map, and there's still teams that have never taken a fight off of Hawaii.
Do you want to know how many... Not games... Not, you know, whatever that Hawaii lost, but maps that Hawaii lost last year.
I'd love to hear this.
13.
Wow.
That is less than Delaware, who only lost 2 games last year.
What was their record again?
12-3.
12-3, so 15 times, hypothetically, 5. They lost how many maps?
They lost 13 maps. That's less games than there were in the season. They averaged less than 1 lost map a game last season.
So they won 73% of their maps.
42-13. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I'd use a calculator. I'm terrible at math. But regardless, that is amazing. How
do you get through an entire season where most games you don't drop a map?
Yeah,
like
it ain't easy being cheesy. You know what I mean? Like, they're rocking and rolling. And I like what Montana's doing here a lot. They're going far to cover the sky. They're going Bastion to deal as much damage to that tank line as possible. And I think they're anticipating the Sigma still. So they're thinking, oh, okay, we will utilize some kind of opener in terms of... come on, Succulents, use your words. Some kind of opener in the terms of getting that shield offline, being able to find that space, but instead, they're going to keep that Bastion locked in the far back. I think this may be a pepper damage kind of deal. Math Dealer already in your face, though. Your Bastion is gone. Oh, not the reload! Terrible timing, and Say's going to take advantage of it. They're looking for the Junkrat. They just can't find him. The Mercy Pocket keeps you alive, but you're not doing a lot of damage to keep it up and running.
Already seeing Lucio trying to challenge Sneak to get them out of here, and the damage just keeps throwing through. Without the Mercy, how long can Sneak stay alive? The answer is not very long. And in a flat 50 seconds, Rainbow Warriors ready to move on to Flashpoint.
Just such a blink and you miss it moment. The Rainbow Warriors winning that in what would be, I think, 4 minutes and 20 seconds or something.
Just
5
about.
minutes and 20 seconds.
Just
around
about, yeah,
that
5:20.
marker. So that is a beautiful performance here from the University of Hawaii. Yeah, no surprise to anyone that this is play of the game. Matt Thieler just carrying the team when they were already down by 2. And that's the scariest thing I think about Hawaii is the fact that if it's not okay, eliminate one player and we win. It's eliminate one player. Guess what? There's 4 more just as talented waiting for you. And that's the scariest thing about them. That's what sets them apart from almost any other team in the EGF.
Yeah. I mean, just off the top of your head, would you say Control or Hybrid is a longer map type?
I think Hybrid
like
has the
time-wise.
potential to be longer because you can go extra rounds. You can, there's like, if you cap all 3 points, it's definitely longer. But if it's a full hold like that, Control is longer.
Fun fact, Hawaii, not longer for them. They shaved 30 seconds off their map time on that one. I mean, that's already an amazing map one time. We never usually talk about how quick these things are getting done, but Hawaii is going on through. I'm in favor of, yeah, we should start timing just all of the maps in general. Just it provides such a good analysis for how teams are marking up against each other.
And for those watching that are like curious, like, wow, they really like numbers right now. We decided we were curious because we were like, okay, Hawaii should do very well. That's not an improper thing to say.
Let's
thinking,
measure it.
Yeah, we're thinking, let's see how well Hawaii is going to be or going to do. By golly, they're doing a great job across 2 maps. They have spent just over 13 minutes. So that is just, I mean, nutso beyond comparison. And going into Flashpoint, I think there is going to be a little bit of expectation here that this should be relatively one-sided as well. But as we've seen from our other 2 series of the night, anything can happen on a Flashpoint.
Go either way on Flashpoint. The record, we were talking about this a little bit before stream, the record for fastest ever EGF Overwatch game from the moment they load into maps to the moment victory pops up on the last one is 28 minutes. They're hovering at 20 right now.
I'm gonna make kind of a jest here. That is me trying to remember a game I cast almost 4 years ago. So we might want to just throw that number out and call this one, whatever happens here, if Hawaii keeps this up, we'll say this is the timed fastest. We'll know that as a fact. Because I wish I could remember better. I know Jag and I, my old duo, for those that remember that name, we cast a game that was like, it happened so fast, it was over and I didn't believe it. It was like one of those series. It was, I think, 3 years ago. So I'm down to time this one and just call this our mathematical expectation through and through and see where it takes us.
I mean, it's clean. Like, it's really just coming down to Hawaii's playing incredibly clean throughout. It's amazing to watch it. Math is doing an insane job on the tank, deciding the pace of every single fight. And the DPS, the junk coming on through. We've seen insane plays on the Sojourn, that hit scan roll, providing everything they're meant to do. You're supposed to see, consistent damage out of your hit scan, burst damage out of your reflex. Exactly what you're getting. The names on the tin, and they're giving you what's in the box. The ingredients have been listed, and that's all there is. I mean, I spend a lot of time coaching Overwatch. I love Overwatch. It's one of my favorite things. I love, giving the big analysis on Overwatch and really thinking about, like, oh, what needs to happen here? How do we maximize this player? How do we maximize that player? I don't have any notes right now for Hawaii. They're doing exactly what they should be doing.
Word. I mean, truly no notes. And it has been such an incredible performance from Hawaii up to this point to give us that kind of progress, because this is a team, again, that I think came into the EGFC. People did not have a lot of expectation of them due to the fact, okay, they're playing on 200 something ping every time we see them. So we thought Hawaii is going to be a bit of a wash, and above the table, I love Hawaii. I can say this about them and know they won't take it the wrong way. For a little while, they were. Hawaii was not doing very well for a little while. And then all of a sudden, I think it was around like a winter break, all of a sudden they came back, they were locked in, and they have been ever since. Going into our 3rd and final map, New Junk City. Anything can happen if you let it, and Hawaii, they're going to try their darndest to let it happen.
Gotta cap 3 points to send this one away. And each one of them, I figure out. Do you know about, off the top of your head, how much time it takes to capture a flashpoint?
Actually, I just learned this from Twin Salty on the other stream. I was watching in chat. I was giving it a watch, and I think he said it takes, instead of 1.2 per percentage, which we see on Control, it's 0.8 per percent. So whatever 100 times 0.8
70
is.
70 seconds to capture the point.
Yeah. So it takes about it takes some variety of 23 or not 20. I got too many numbers in my head. Hold on. 100.
It's like 2.3% per tick or something.
Yeah, so about 80 seconds instead of 100. Yep. So 20 seconds, you know, we say, okay, you hit 75, you've got 25 seconds left. That's last fight territory. Only having 80 seconds negates last fight territory. And that's part of the reason that this is so scary. But we see University of Hawaii, Banana Lumpia bringing out the Lucio, say back on the Junkrat, but I'm talking about the Lucio because that speed advantage goes a long way when you want to get to that first point first.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit surprised to not see the Lucio from Montana State. Lucio just feels like such a must
is just clearly very comfortable on the Lifeweaver because they've been playing a lot.
This is true. And like, I see a lot of stuff talking about, oh, Lifeweaver not good, Lifeweaver this, Lifeweaver that. No, Lifeweaver is good if you have a team to play them with and you build it around properly. Yes. If you have something where you can overcommit with it and you pull them back out, you can make up dividends. Bowling Green did that all week 1 where they were like, hey, Doomfist, go out, have fun. You've got a safety in your back pocket. It did amazing for them.
Sorry, look, I don't mean to cut you off. I cannot believe what just happened. Math Dealer walked out, shot at the entire team of Montana State by himself, and the rest of his team capped the point. Montana completely fell for it. They back all the way up, they go for the regroup, and they just let Math Dealer scare them off long enough after one small Oh my god. I can't even get a sentence out before these guys are farming a new highlight reel. This is breathtaking, the way they are finding pick after pick, just ruining the chances of this first point, which we're already half done with.
Akamai, an insane play there on the Hanzo. Math Dealer continuing to push pace, just sending it on through 60% on the point. And it's starting to get to where, like, do you even try to recontest this again if you're all the way back in spawn and it's at 70?
No, I don't think you do. I think you give it up. You got to say, all right, you know what? GG, go next. Our bad. We'll make it work next time. We'll adapt accordingly, and we'll try to improve. Because if you dive into this, you may expend ultimates that you don't need to, and that'll make the next fight a lot harder for that opening point. University of Hawaii, though, they've got the Riptire, they've got an Overclock, and Coalescence and a Rampage just around the corner. Montana State, after a couple of changes, we've got the Beat Bum Juip, which is the Tree of Life, and a Coalescence. The rest of them, not going to have the ultimates they were looking for going into this second point. I just can't believe we're done with the first one already.
No, absolutely ridiculous. And it does look like Hawaii is going to end up getting to this point first, even with capturing the last one. That's the power of the Lucio. When you've got that speed, it lets you just navigate around these maps so quickly. Oh, the tire! What can it find? Where is it going?
On now.
Right on top of the May!
Come on, I've been that Junkrat, and I've been that May, and that is an insane circumstance to be in. Say, takes him down. I'm a Draft is maybe 5 HP, and actually gets a pick on Math Dealer here. Oh. A wild opening, and a huge opportunity for Montana State to try and steal this point back if they were feeling so inclined to do so.
Pressure is gonna tick up for Hawaii here. Montana, though, a little bit once bitten, twice shy. They've got the tank pick, but still playing it slowly. Just because Hawaii's been playing so well throughout, that Montana State feels that, I imagine, feels that they need to have everybody stacked up, ready to go before they can try to take this fight. And sometimes you just got to take the risk. You got to take the advantages you're given and make full use of them.
Yeah, without a doubt, you need to find that opportunity of existence, and you need to find that space to take an advantage when you have it. Now, Montana had a 5-4 advantage. What did they do? They sat and they twiddled their thumbs, and Math Dealer came back in the blink of an eye. The Beat Bum Juip does not keep the team up and running long enough. River God puts out the Coalescence to keep Hawaii alive, and look at the spacing as well, staying totally out of the fight, just letting Coalescence at the very end of its rope heal the team, gets a lot of damage done, and creates an insane dividend for the University of Hawaii. Now, unfortunately, I don't think Hawaii is going to have the chance to beat the mathematical, hypothetical 28, but
well,
I think they are exactly. I think they are hands down. Well, I also think they are hands down setting an EGF record right now.
I think
it's at least one that we're gonna have the numbers on, and that's a first. So
I think if the minutes come down to 28, we have to give it to them because we don't know the seconds.
I can totally agree with that.
If it says 28 on the clock, that's theirs. That's their time.
I'm giving them the record no matter what here. I think if they win this third point, this is the fastest. We can even say the fastest of the season because that much we're sure of. So yeah, the fact we're already kissing that 28th minute, they need 80 seconds to cap that third and final point. I think they're not gonna hit the 23 marker, but 24 anything. I mean, come on, y'all. It don't get much faster than that. It don't get much better than that. We're talking a sub 30 right now, and that alone is an EGF miracle.
Yeah, Math Dealer with this Rampage setting it up ready to go. They still have a beat in their back pocket. Meanwhile, Montana State only really gonna have a window and that Zarya just trying to set up for this last fight right here, right now. Sending it in. There's the Rampage.
Oh, Immortality if you ain't saving you from that, baby. My goodness, Lei had the reaction time, had the read on the play, but unfortunately, that Rampage was just too good for their liking. The Kitsune, or excuse me, the Suzu from Kiriko was not there to keep them alive, and say, just bullying Lei, at least the names rhyme, that's fun. And Montana State University, unfortunately, just at the behest of the University of Hawaii here. Again, this is nothing against Montana. They've won some fights. They've got some picks. This is just Hawaii, guys. This is just what they do.
I mean, I think Montana really is just drawing the short straw for teams that they have to open against. I mean, Delaware to Hawaii is...
Yeah. Hey, you got them out of the way, though, bright side.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of your season's open. Like, they've got UConn next week, which UConn's a good team, but not, you know, Hawaii, Delaware kind of team. I think that's a pretty good place to open up to and try to progress along.
Oh, no! He's a Saniac! Oh my god! Oh my god, this is the best day of my entire life. The emote, the 5K, the say, I'm in love. This is truly a player after my heart. And with a record of 29-19, the University of Hawaii holds what we are making up right now, the EGFC record for fastest 3-0 we have seen. And now we get to see this Saniac's play once more through his own eyes. The double mine in, the tire, the lamp is gone, and he gets all 5. Oh my god. I'm so stoked I stuck around for the University of Hawaii. I love that team. I love Say, and I love Junkrat. Thank goodness I got to see my man shine today.
29 minutes on the clock. That's including breaks in between, waiting for map picks, all of that kind of thing. We're waiting on the unbreaked time, basically the non-load screen times.
Real.
If you will. For this last one. But as a 29-19, what an insane... That's from Assemble Your Heroes. When the stream caught it, 29:05. I think we go from when the actual fight starts. You know,
again,
so I think the 29:05.
Anything.
Yeah,
because we do not have the validity of my previous statement. I will fully throw myself under the bus. I'll check with Jag. Maybe he remembers. Because what if it's 38 and Hawaii just blew it out of the water?
No, a 10-minute world record.
It would be a beautiful performance regardless. And with only 6 minutes per map, I don't know if we are ever going to see something faster than that, but I am going to go ahead and make the executive call to end stream right here. We know Hawaii's good. We know they're great. We're going to have hypothetically 14 more chances to talk to them this season. So we're going to let them enjoy the rest of their day. We're going to go ahead and enjoy the rest of ours at 11 p.m. on the East Coast here. So I'm going to go to bed. Thank you to all 6 teams for coming out here. Thank you to every member of every team and every captain, team manager that we had the chance to work with. And of course, all of you for watching. We love each and every one of you. Check your posture, drink some water. Don't forget to love each other. And we will EGFC you next week.